There we go. Hello, everybody, and how are we doing today? I hope you're doing well. Let me know about the volume. I was playing with volumes like crazy for work, so if things are loud or if I'm too loud and Nick's too quiet or whatever it is, just make sure you give me a heads up. I have to play with PC volumes for work stuff, so I don't get my ears blown out, but at the same time, it can be distracting in a healthy way. You know what I'm saying? In case you weren't here before we went live, if you happen to be just a follower to the channel, no problem. There are some more emotes available to you. I kind of like downgraded some of the sub-tier emotes. Look at that cutie. Oh, I thank you. And if you happen to be a subscriber, there's a couple more emotes available for you as well. And then a few people that have climbed up the bit tier a bit with how many bits they've dropped. There's a few more emotes available to you there as well. One of my favorite ones is, I actually don't remember where I put it. Who has access to, because I kind of did these really quick right before we went live. Who has access to this one? Because that's one of my favorites. Listen, Nick, I'm going to talk forever. That's what I do. Because the flump, I think that's meant to be a follower. I don't remember. Okay. So, hi, Nick.
I don't know. I don't know if I should talk now. I think Viking just hurt my feelings.
What did Viking say? Let's see. I like to calm with someone at least once a day. Keeps you connected, you know? He says, look at that cutie. See how that's so? Says it was for Nick. I don't understand how Viking hurt your feelings.
I thought he said it was perfect that I wasn't speaking. Oh,
No.
see,
Yeah.
Volume seems good.
See,
It's good.
Nick thinks it's about him, but it's not.
It is. It is. The world revolves around me. I'm a late 30s boomer. Of course it does. I'm a white male. This is how it works.
That is what I'm told is true. So
Yep. I am a slightly overweight mid 30s white male who works in tech. Boom. I'm the fucking boomerang, especially since Jake's not here.
God. Oh, this hurts my brain. I thought Boomerang was in the Legend of Korra, but I guess I'm wrong.
Oh, that's good.
So, anyways, I think Nick is a tad loud compared to Scott. Oh, that'd probably be a good thing. Good. If it's noticeable or obnoxious by a couple of other people, I'll adjust it. But in the meanwhile, that's probably a good thing because usually I'm way too loud. If my voice sounds extra obnoxious, I apologize. Rory started school last week and got a cold. She got a COVID test. We confirmed it was a cold. And she gave it to me. So now I have a cold. So that's fun. But, oh, that reminds me. I had to go get that. What's that shit called? The orange stuff that tastes like hell. That stuff. I'll be right back. You just talk to them. I'll be back in 1 second. That way we can actually hear me, and then we'll get started with your kingdom stuff. Sound good?
Yeah, sure. I'll talk to these internet people. Yeah.
Try not to get me canceled while I'm gone. I know Cell's not here to save us, so I'll be right back.
Oh, that's fun. Hey, Cell buddy, how you doing? Oh, funny stories about Scott's past. Oh, I can definitely do that. So I think if you remember last time, I was talking about my trip up to Maine on New Year's, and what happened is I worked like a 12-hour shift. I drove 8 hours up to Scott's apartment in Portland, Maine, and when I got there, I was starving, and Scott was completely shit-faced. So I order some food, and he's being all drunk and obnoxious. And as soon as my food gets there, Scott comes down out of the shower for some reason, and he's only in a towel and starts dancing over my food. And I just watched this curly black hair drop from under the towel right into my entire order of food. And then Scott proceeds to vomit all over the place and pass out outside naked. There's your funny Scott story. And you can't. That's in your head now forever.
It's Dayquil. That's what it's called, but generic brand because it's all the same.
Right. It's tasty. Like the Chinese food I never got to have that I just had to explain that.
No,
Oh yeah.
no! Did you tell that story?
Oh, oh yeah.
Damn it! I knew I should have muted him before I left. Oh, bottoms up. Yeah.
Just wait. Next time I get alone time, we'll talk about the night before his wedding.
Oh god, it's gross. I haven't taken it since 1 o'clock, so or noon. Sorry, my face is falling apart. Oh my god, how instantly it opens everything up. I should just get wasabi.
Certainly does. And don't Viking. I've got so many Scott in a towel stories. It's bad.
I mean, I was probably in a towel for about an hour today, a little over an hour today. You know, I started my conferencing earlier in a towel because I knew it was just a video, but not a video, but like it was one of those ones where, because it was like not directly my company, but like a third party that's like linked to the company. I can leave my camera off. So I was like, all right, well, I'm still naked. So I like walked around with a laptop and, you know, got dressed or whatever while it started.
Well, I mean, the plus side is he's so hairy that you really can't see anything in a brief moment.
I'm not that hairy. I'm really not. I'm not William. William's like a pull. I've tried to wrestle William.
Yes.
Oh God, you just slide right off him. He's just
Yeah.
like, it's like the hair like holds on to enough moisture that you just like, whoo! It's
It
like
is. It is. It's so healthy and glossy too. I don't know what he does. Do you think he conditions?
Condition is fur. Oh, that's actually why he always comes in and says boo hiss, whatever species he is. That's his mating call. He's looking for the right one. Have his next pair of twins. All right, so all right, so yeah, this session. The whole point of the session is to do your kingdom rolls, as we previously said. However, how is that ones? Let's go. Oh, actually, before we do the session,
Facts.
Brittany is working on bingo sheets. So I'm trying to get a mix of 30 things from you guys. If you keep throwing over in the Aurorum community, 30 individual items that you throw on there, whether it be like 3 nat 1s in a campaign, 3 nat 20s in a campaign. Scott is a common denominator. Nix is something offensive. Whatever it might be. You want to get 30 things in there because a bingo sheet is 25 squares, but one of them is a free square. So it's 24 squares. She wants to like randomize this, so I'll probably have about the idea, no promises on this, is to have 12 different bingo sheets. So that it reduces the likelihood that, because I mean, what's the likelihood that there are 12 plus people that are going to be doing this live on the last show? And if there are, then if multiple people with the same sheet happen to win, we can always resolve a tie with like a die roll or something like that, and there'll be a reward of probably some daddies or something. I'm still trying to work out the details. So it'll be fun. So make sure you're over inside the Discord in Aurorum community, tossing some ideas of things that you think will happen during next week. So that's all the streams from Sunday to Saturday, all the streams. I think that's Sunday, like the 18th or whatever it is, through till Saturday, the 25th, whatever streams happen to happen that week. Cool. All right, Nick, back to you, sir. The point of the session is to do several things. One, as you said right before we went live, a new sheet, like an updated sheet that you have, so kind of getting a little bit more familiarity with that. Number 2, doing the actual kingdom rolls. It takes place while your character's away. But also number 3, like, what are your plans with Kushibashi moving forward? Kind of like laying down a roadmap, hearing some advice from chat as they're here, just like really trying to focus on you as an individual as well as maybe some little bits of RP or whatnot that might happen as well. Now, in this scenario, because Naren's not actually here to resolve these situations, he's actually not here at all. There might be some scenarios where you'll kind of have to hop into the boots of different people at the time to kind of like shed your opinions, etc., etc. I won't lie, I originally liked the idea of because the advisors to the other clans, so the Shado and Densho advisors to your clan, I liked the idea of them weighing in, excuse me, while you're away, to like really try to steer the course of where things go, and you guys do the same to the others. But at the same time, an entire session of them just sitting around bored, that sounds boring. So the only way that we can have a way to change that is if they wanted to pop on the call specifically for like the talking time. We don't need cameras for that either. I can literally hide cam off, and they can like leave their cameras off and just be ethereal voices that are kind of like guiding the time or whatever it might be. As a reminder, in your clan, I believe you left Tonscreet as the primary one in charge. So he's the de facto ruler or whatever in the interim, and the regent. That's what I'm looking for. And
Yes.
you asked Shala to look over him while you're gone, right?
Yes. So it was Tonscreet is to keep everything on the up and up, and Shala's there to get her hands dirty if something has to happen.
Cool. So that being said, I want you to let's take a step back for a second and kind of like go over the kingdom as it is. So because this overlay isn't really good for showcasing a whole bunch of different things, because it's just the two, it's going to get kind of like sloppy thrown on top right here, which is fine. But let's at least bring it over there so that you guys can see at least the kingdom as it is as a reminder before we go into like sheets and whatnot. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So this is what's his name? Kushibashi. This is where Clan Kushibashi currently is. Now, as we already know, in the campaign, there's a river that continues going kind of like, up this way. Kind of like that is pretty much how it goes. I can't actually see where it is because I'm not using that map. But it kind of goes like this, right? That's how the river goes. So with that being said, and then, obviously you can kind of see the way that the land over here is formed to the best of your ability to see, right? So we know that this clan right here is none too kind with you, and this clan right here is none too kind with you as well. Now, if we remember last two sessions of the actual Warmonger game, Nick has been making some headway specifically with clan right here, Clan Vok. Making potentially, unless they're trying to screw you over, things being a little bit peaceful with you, unless I'm mistaken, right?
Yeah, it seems like we might be able to come to an agreement. If I believe we've consulted, we've talked about where I'm looking to expand. They're kind of fine, and it's like no, if you don't poke at me, I won't poke at you. And we kind of came to the conclusion that, yeah, we're probably both going to still spy on each other, but we're going to keep things neutral.
Okay. And that's what it seems like for now. However, Wolfmaw, not only were they original kind of aggressors in the whole scenario, not only were they the original bad guys in the scenario, they also maintained a degree of hostility with you up in the north, and so on and so forth. Things aren't too pleasant with them. But while we have that knowledge right now, because we're from the future, your clan doesn't have that knowledge set, even while at the same time, but many, many, many miles away. So you missed Zai. You missed nothing, Zai. So the clans does not have any of that knowledge because they're past, present, whatever it is, but far away. So they kind of have to go with the assumption that clan to the northeast of you is still very hostile, right? Cool. We have that understanding. That's the clan as it is right now for the sake of map. Any questions or any details you want to go over with this? Are we good?
I think we're good.
Oh, excuse me. You think you're good? Cool. Okay. Fun being sick. All right. So next up. Oh, right over here. So next up, we're gonna have clan. Oops, something went wrong. Reload. Okay. Okay. So next up, we have clan Kushibashi, and over here is where we wait. Is this the correct one? This is not the correct one. I have the wrong link here. Yeah, that's not the right one.
Which one do you have?
Yep.
Are you sure?
Yeah, that's definitely the wrong one. The new one is definitely more updated than that. Sheets. Where is the new sheet?
It is the Kuchibachi Kingdom Sheet 3.0, correct?
Yeah, that's not what I'm looking at. I just have Nick Kingdom. But how's 3.0? Sheets.
Hold on.
Sheets 3.0. Kingdom.
Typical boomer. This is what happened with my character description, everyone. Just Scott couldn't find it.
Yeah.
I totally just didn't send it late.
I shared information with that one. They all know the truth.
Yep. Fake news.
I honestly have no idea where it is. Maybe you designed it and shared it with me, and that's why I can't find this because it's shared with me.
No way.
Yep.
You really think I would do that much work?
I gave it to you, and then you shared it with me. Is what it was. My apologies.
Gotcha.
Not you designed. Let me reiterate that one. Ah, god damn it. Oy vey. Okay. Okay. Give me a moment, please. This is frustrating. I have to make sure I have authorization with the other one. Let's see. Get link. Change to anybody with link. And then anyone with link can be a viewer. That's fine. Copy link. Paste and go. There we go. Now we can see it. Sorry about that. All right. So now that we have access to the sheet, so now we have access to the sheet. We have warlike. Man, my wrist is killing me from sitting here at the friggin' using a mouse all day. I have an ergonomic mouse too, but I don't think it's helped me very much. So my apologies. So where your kingdom currently sits with you being gone for the month, right? So where it currently sits is we didn't actually factor in your being gone, did we? No, we didn't, because Narin's still there. And who'd you bring with you? Nobody worth noting you brought with you. That's right. So we need to make some shift abouts to get this kind of kingdom rules thing started for you. Let's see, quick notes. You have all those notes for yourself. Improvements, all the other details are here. Kingdom notes over here, that's fine. Advisor tasks, those are all set for you. Everything's good to go there. Then you have your town, your military, blah, 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 blah. Cool. So, Nick, while you're gone, the only person you took with you was one of your commanders. You didn't actually take anybody from your kingdom, correct?
Correct.
Cool. And then Hoko was supposed to leave and not be around. But in fact, he did not leave. He did stay around. Does he actually provide any benefit to you as a viceroy? I don't recall. Let me actually look up his stats. Because if I remember correctly, a viceroy is supposed to offer to you half their wisdom or intelligence modifier. And I don't know if Hoko has either a wisdom or an intelligence modifier. But I believe we removed him because he was not offering any aid at the moment. So Hoko, he has a intelligence modifier of 0 and a wisdom modifier of 1. So half of 1 is 0. So he offers you nothing. He's just there. Isn't Hoko great? All right, cool.
That's his specialty.
So, but with Narin being gone for the whole month, I believe what you did is you actually took Ton's Screet and you made him slide into the position of ruler temporarily because you don't actually have a consort or anything else at the moment. So you asked him to temporarily take the spot for you. So when you're having somebody switch roles like that, you are able to have a bonus. So here it is: leadership roles, abdicating a role, ruler, da 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 da, and then there's actually a rule here for abdicating a role. So you're actually not abdicating; you're vacant. So this slide explains the penalty if you're no is a failure role, da da da, necessary time, da da da. So you're not abdicating. If you're, most benefits are vacancy penalty. If you are a ruler abdicating, yes, you're not abdicating. You're just temporarily stepping away, which means that you're being vacant causes a penalty. But I can't remember how it is that we did this. Because it has been a minute, as Viking just said. Responsibility of leader. I don't know if you have even the links open, Nick. Open up Pathfinder Kingdom Building. Quick Google.
Oh, yep. To be honest, Viking, as far as edicts go, they're so expensive. Exploration hasn't been, at least up north, hasn't been a priority. I've been poor like the last 3 kingdom rolls. So I need to really finish expanding, get my consumption down, and jack up my loyalty, because loyalty is hurting right now.
Speaking of loyalty, so you're while you're gone for that month, during that month that you're gone, you're temporarily abdicating the role. You're not actually abdicating it. We all understand this. Somebody else is stepping in to take that position for you. So there's a what's the word I'm looking for here? There's a vacancy penalty that could take effect, but no unrest is going to kick in because it's known that you're leaving. You're going on for a trip for a little over a month. That's not a big deal. So you're going to step away, meaning your modifiers at 7 and 2 are temporarily going to disappear. And instead, you can have Ton Screet stepping into the role of ruler so that you don't have that vacancy there. However, you will still suffer a vacancy penalty unless you can make a loyalty check. That loyalty check is a DC 39 because that's your control DC. And your modifier, what's it, plus 23? But this is with a +4 because it's one of your people are just kind of like sliding into place for you. So it's not a big deal. It's something that's pre-planned, so on and so forth. So it's a 39 with a +27. You're not actually rolling that yet. We'll get to that in a second. So that's how that's going to play out. The thing I want you to keep in mind as you're plotting this out, Nick, is that when you do step away from the marshal position, there is a vacancy penalty of not having a marshal in there of a -4. So usually he gives a +5 to your economy. Clearly that's going to go away for a hot minute. And instead you're going to get a -4. It's a 9-point swing in your economy. But if you actually open up your the character sheet for what's his name, Ton Screet,
T-Squizzle.
Okay. You actually have nope. Back over here to additional. You actually have a few modifiers he has here: Master, Breeder, and Trainer, which you already know. That's how you got your puppy. You have Friends in High Places. This is more or less. Oh, you can just click it over here. This gives you a +3 to a single advisor check. Then you have Competent Secretaries is the one that I wanted to mention, which is you can miss an entire kingdom month of kingdom rolls with no absentee penalty, and it keeps all the benefits as though the advisor was still in the position. So instead of taking a 9-point swing, not only can you ignore the -4, you can also ignore the loss of the 5. You can maintain that there. The idea is that Ton Screet gives such good instructions to the people that are maintaining his position for him that they push forward his agenda while he's off taking care of the other things without it negatively impacting your kingdom. It's actually a huge boon. You only have 2 uses until eventually I will give you a reset, assuming the character is still supported at the time of reset, which is not disclosed when that will be. So
Gotcha.
it's up to you if you want to use that for him as he slides into your position. Don't make that decision yet. The first thing we do with kingdom rolls is always you're rolling for upkeep. Oh, shit.
Gotcha.
Clicked the wrong button.
Now I got to remember what role that was. Upkeep
Uh,
phase, right?
yep. And just make sure your actual kingdom character sheet has the right
I'm
stats on it.
pretty sure I updated them, but
Yeah, should be control should be 39, and then economy, loyalty, stability should be 34, 23, 38.
yes,
All that's
we are
correct.
good.
All right, so you should stability unless you're on natty one. You should beat stability, no problems. Right off the bat, just you click that button and you should be good.
I got to click lots of buttons for this role.
You know what I mean.
Yes. Mod input value 0, right?
Mm-hmm.
Boom.
Okay, cool. Beat it. So that means that your on the Kushibashi sheet, your unrest goes from 1 to 0. Oh, I can't modify on that one, but you can bring your unrest from 1 to 0. And then you have to adjust all of your stats to be 35, 24, and 39 respectively, as you know. Well, those are already adjusted. You just have to do whatever
Adjust them
else
on
you
the
want to.
sheet.
Yeah, cool. Awesome, awesome, awesome. While you're doing that, next thing he's going to have to do is pay his consumption. His consumption is currently at 5. This is with everything finally updated and modified. He does have bonus BP at the end, which beforehand we used to factor that into his consumption reduction. Luckily, we got rid of that now, so it's a little bit more work for him up front to get that stabilized. But at the end, it actually is beneficial. Instead of having negative BP that does nothing for you, he actually has the ability to generate additional BP as well as have a 0 once you get to it. Cool. Nick, so you're gonna pay off that 5 BP.
Yep.
Cool. After that is gonna be filling some vacant magic item slots. Do you have any vacant magic item slots? I don't know if you do.
That is a good question. I thought I had something, or did I get rid of it?
I don't think Herbalist provides one, does it? No, I don't think so.
I thought it does.
Let's look it up.
It's a potion, I believe, right?
1 second.
I think it does.
Oh, 1 potion or minor wondrous item. We don't have it marked as something that you can have. So 1 potion or minor wondrous item. So we say 1. Oh, I can't write with this one. So ask somebody in chat to roll you a D100. You want them to roll a 51 or higher.
Who loves me? Go ahead, Viking. Even though you threw shade this morning earlier, I'll give it to you.
Mm.
Yes, the infamous pube story, and that's exactly what you missed, Silamos. I just want you to know.
And Jake, to answer your question, no. All right, so oh yeah, that there we go. You got it. That absolutely generates an item. So
Fallen.
it's a I would say it's a 70 I'm sorry, it's an 80% chance that it's a potion as opposed to a wondrous item because potions are more common. So we're gonna have somebody else, it could be him again, roll a D100. So this is
Go ahead, Viking. Let it ride.
so it's a potion, not a big deal. Now that it's a potion, have somebody else roll me a D100.
I'm happy with a potion, bro. You did fine. Joey, you want to roll?
Xylamos, too bad. Xylamos would have made a potion of bull strength, but you didn't get called on.
I'm bull enough. Just ask your mom. What?
95. Oh, that would have been something else. That's a potion of resist energy, but the type isn't defined. Could I get a Cell? Roll me a D6 there, boyo. Acid, cold, fire. So you have a potion of resist energy, fire. 10.
Oh, nice.
So,
hey, Cell, you want to buy it?
okay. All right. Cool. That ends that portion of it. Next thing up, we're gonna do is um Kingdom Civilian modify unrest. I don't think you have any unrest to modify. You have
I do not.
no unrest in there. Nothing's causing any issues that are gonna make it go down or up any or anything like that. Cool. This is when we assign leadership. This is where you're abdicating your role, and the other person's taking over. So you need to decide: is Ton Screek going to use his secretaries to maintain being there?
He will.
So they're Ton secretaries.
His secretariat. No.
Ton secrete. I mean, we saw the I saw the secretary, of course.
I was gonna ask if there are any BoJack fans out there. No.
Would you? Right, and then you need to roll a loyalty check with a +4. DC is your control DC, so that's going to be a plus. That's a DC 39 with a +4 modifier.
Reducing my uses here for a second. What am I rolling now?
DC 39, a loyalty check with a +4. So it's 1d20 plus 28V, DC 39.
1d20 plus 28. Oh, this has me a little puckered, I'm not gonna lie.
They are going to be away for more than 6 weeks, yeah. Including travel, everything they're doing up there, so on and so forth. They're going to be gone for a nice long while. That was the whole point of this, is to be mean.
Oof.
Nice.
Fantastic.
Nice. Wow. Wow. You avoid all penalties, so on and so forth. So Naren currently is not offering a 7 and a 2 the way he usually does. Instead, he's offering Ton Screet's bonuses in this scenario. Oop, I can't change with that goddamn thing. I keep forgetting. So, since that is the case, the way Ruler works is based off of, I believe, charisma. It is. And they get to affect one thing. So, what's his face? Ton Screet? Ton Screet is a massive charisma modifier of 0. That's your boy.
That is facts.
That is
we in Kuchibashi, we may not be likable, but we can kill stuff.
I probably spelled that word horribly wrong. So that Kratz terrorize. Yeah, you want to go ahead and auto and correct the spelling on that? Huh.
What are you doing? Where are you putting it?
Where it says Todd Screw Secretary is under Marshall.
Oh, jeez.
Yep, have fun with that one. Yeah, he doesn't have a Royal Enforcer. Okay.
Yeah, there's not that many A's, by the way.
Next up is going to be claim or abandon hexes. Are you going to be claiming any hexes to start off, sir?
I wish. What is my control DC right now? 39. I should should I wait? Should I wait?
It's up to you, man. I'm gonna flick over so people can see the map, and you can decide on this. I'm gonna bring over so they can see the map, and you decide what you think is important.
I'm thinking right here.
Chat, feel free to weigh in for him.
Definitely here. I should just grab this up. It's been blank for a while. You grab it before Jake does, right? You fucking greedy little bastard. Oh, I know it increases the DC. I know. Yeah, I'm gonna grab this guy here, and I kind of, yeah, I kind of want to snag that one too. I'm gonna go for two. I'm gonna grab this one and this one.
Yeah, you want to do that?
I think so.
All
I
right.
think so. The last time I did it, I think it bit me in the ass, but fuck it.
All right. So let's do this. So you want to grab, if I remember correctly, the one that kind of closes up your gap down here, which is not a big deal. So we're going to no, I'm gonna grab you, copy, and paste you over here. But we have to get rid of your little planty. And then we're gonna get another one of you, copy. And I believe you had said it was gonna be, which one was it? To the left or the right? Along the forest?
Yeah, right here.
Oh, not along the forest. Over
Yeah,
by,
yeah.
over.
On the border.
Yeah, that's right. To protect your town from the Wolf Mar.
Yes.
Okay, and get rid of that little planty right there as well. Okay. So in doing that, that increases your number of planes by 2. So over here, we can go down here. We say planes increases by 2 to 11. Which does, of course, increase your control DC to a 41. But that does also mean your size is 19. Nick, you are so close to getting to the next kingdom size. The next kingdom size 26 unlocks some cool stuff too, which is nice. All right. So that increases that right there. That's good news. Claiming those 2 hexes just costs 1 BP each. So that's going to cost you 2 right there. Awesome.
Yeah.
And then we're going to go back over here, and we're going to look at the next thing you're supposed to do is build terrain improvements. So
Did I have anything building, or was I all done?
That's a really good question. Let's find out. Town number 1 looks like. Oh shoot! Town number 1 looks like nothing was building. Hold on, let me view. Let me back up a little bit. Zoom back to 75%. Nope. Town number 2. I can't modify it because I'm just not. I'm not just so frustrating. I have to make sure I can edit it over on that one. Yeah, I think so. Okay. So it looks like you are currently building nothing. Everything you wanted to build is currently built. Not to say that you want to build more. But right now is terrain improvements anyways. Terrain improvements are going to be, go ahead.
Yeah, that's like roads. Does farm fall on that?
I'm sorry?
So what counts as terrain improvements? I'm looking now.
Okay.
Put up bridge.
Farms
canal,
are
yeah,
terrain
farm.
improvement. Yep.
Sawmills. I have all the sawmills I can do at the moment, right? 1, 2,
Farms
3.
might not be a bad idea because you just increase your consumption from 5 to 7, and adding 2 farms, if you can afford to do it, will reduce your consumption back down to 3, I think.
Yes. What's the cost of a farm?
I believe it's 2 each. Just confirming right now.
It's 2 each. Do I have anything in the back burner?
Planes 2 each because those are planes. Yep.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
Cool. So he's just going to grab up a couple of what are they called? Farms.
Grabbing me some farms.
Some wicked good farms.
Wicked good.
Are
you guys going apple picking anytime soon?
Actually, yeah. Josh was just texting me about that. So I
see. Your new best friend.
No. He texts me.
Yeah.
I will be more than happy.
Yeah.
Listen, he gave me like 6 dates, and all of them were like while either I'm at work or Rory's at school, and I'm like, I don't want to just go apple picking me and you, Josh. Like, I'm gonna bring my kid, you bring your kid, we do the kid thing. So only one of those dates work.
I mean, doesn't he count? Kind of.
I mean, he's the right size because I'm tall.
Yes.
So you did spend what 4 more to do that?
Yes. Yeah.
Getting you down to what are you at?
9.
But your consumption, if you increase your farms, go to 10. Increase your consumption to 3. If you wanted to go like balls to the wall all in, you could make one more farm.
I could. I think I need something on that hill, right?
Building a farm on a hill, I think, costs a little bit more.
Probably.
You never made a stockyard, did you?
I did not. Did I?
Wait, no, you do have a stockyard. A stockyard,
No, I
the
do.
double up building? Is he done building a stockyard, chat? Why does that feel wrong? Or is this supposed to be the is this supposed to be the first month that the stockyard kicks in?
I think so.
Because he has a stockyard right here, but it doesn't say how long he has to finish building it.
It was either this month or next month, and I don't remember.
I'm gonna check the old sheet in case it got ported in incorrectly.
I better go delete it real quick.
City states, Nick's kingdom. Did you not transfer the months across?
I didn't do anything.
It says stockyard BP 1 month's left, and that's what it said over here. Oh, that's right. When he redid the sheet, he was the one that plugged all this in, and he did it wrong. Chat, that's right. He did it wrong. If you look at the way the sheet's set up, it's so wrong. I forgot about this because we haven't played since the sheet started. So the way it works is you only actually get one quarter of the whole layout. Each one of those are districts, and every district you have counts as an additional control DC for you.
Gotcha.
So you're supposed to be in only one of the districts, and I believe you wanted the because you wanted water on it. So you were definitely going like your district was in like the northeast corner, because that's like, oh sorry, that didn't have to be that. It was going to be one of these wherever you wanted your district to be. The water is going to be on the eastern side. Was going to be on the eastern side of the district. So just kind of do me a favor quickly, highlight the quarter of the map that you want your town to be on, so I can adjust this really quickly.
I just did. Can you not see it? It's just the southeastern or the bottom left, the bottom right hand side. Sorry.
Bottom right hand side. Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome. If I just want to ask a question before I make a suggestion or not. Do you want the water to be on the right side of what will eventually be a whole city, or do you like the idea of potentially building it so the river is between, like runs through the middle of a city that's down at the ends down there, if you know what I'm saying? So would you want the water to run the middle? What will, if you eventually have the whole 4 squares, do you want the water in the middle of the 4 squares or to the side? No, you want it
to the side.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Understand. Give me a second. I'll make these adjustments for you. This is going to be a.
Thank you.
Yeah.
And yeah, Viking. This is just a lot of experience in completely bullshitting my way through many meetings, trying to pretend like I know what I'm talking about, and while Googling things on the side, and that's pretty much it. Yeah.
All right. Where was that mansion originally? The mansion that was originally over here. So I think I could just copy and paste it like this, can I? Because you actually had a wall there. Ooh, you had a wall there, so that makes it easier. I just copy and paste like this, I think. Make sure I don't fuck this up. If I click right here, boom.
They are definitely transferable.
That is what you wanted, right?
Yeah.
I mean, that's ugly.
Yeah, that works. I mean, it is ugly, but that works.
Okay, but that does. Go ahead.
It's not going to stay in my capital anyway. Eventually, I'm going to be in the forest, kind of punching through, I think. But
yep. And just so you do know, Nick, the
can you tell we're from Boston? It's an organic city, all right?
The same would be true from Neil. You know, he's from London or England, whatever. Okay, so the thing I was going to ask you, what was I saying? Oh, so just so you know, you are invested another 5 BP to close out the stockyard this time.
That's fine.
But that's going to like hook you up hardcore. So you'll be wicked pissa.
Yeah, I just can't afford anything now.
That's okay though, because this is setting you up for the future.
That is normal.
Didn't somebody say they were going to bankroll you?
Yeah, but then they probably got to know me.
I thought it was sell. I thought sell was something about bankrolling. Or is that Jake?
Is it? Well, actually, I've got this wonderful. Yes, an extra 50 BP. That's great. Um, well, I got this potion of fire resistance that I'm going to sell to sell for 20 BP.
The funny thing is, it
So
doesn't belong to you. It belongs to the kingdom. And when it belongs to people that live in your kingdom. So it's actually
that's all
not
right.
accessible by you, the ruler.
That's all right. I'll take the hit to loyalty for stealing it, and then
Oh, okay. All right, that's actually an option.
it's already low enough.
Ouch. All right, let's see. And the last thing I gotta do is over here. All right, I think I got it right. It's good enough for now, at least. And then I just gotta make sure all of them are that green color. Oh shit, I can't do it like that. I gotta do the green color. This is so much fun for me. I hope you understand how much fun this is. Ooh, wrong color. Is that the right color?
Listen, it's capitalism, but have you ever heard of eminent domain? Right?
Yeah. I mean, it is a thing for a reason.
Yeah. Oh, here's fair market value, but I rig the market, so your fair market value is nothing.
The number of people that are like still so angry that they supported like, yeah, let's build a wall, and then like Trump's team came in and like started taking their land, and they're like, not my land. It's just like, well, what did you think was going to happen? Where did you think that wall was going to come from?
Wall is a very generous term.
Well, usually it's a fence.
Yes. Build a wall. That's a chain link fence. Like, come on.
All right, let's see. I just think it's funny. I don't know. I'm just like mindlessly doing this, so I'm about to go down the rabbit hole of politics that doesn't need to be gone down. So
I was just thinking, you remember that trucking place next to the house I grew up in?
yep.
They tried to put up a chain link fence to keep us out because they had this huge swath of land, and we'd go in and just swap license plates on the trucks and do all sorts of terrible things that you don't realize how bad they actually affect people's lives until you become an adult. But they put up these chain link fences, and they were so cheap we could twist off the metal ties that held the fence on there, and then we would just roll up the chain link fence and steal that too. It was fantastic.
Yeah. Fencing is not cheap, I found out.
Yeah, it is not.
It is not a cheap thing. Nope. Nope, it's not. All right, cool. That's good enough for now. Oh, god damn it, Granarian Cistern. Let me just finish that down there. You and where are you? The right side. You. So much fun watching me fix that to whatever degree. All right, so Stockyard's actually legit going to be done after this, in 2 seconds at least. So finish cleaning that up or whatever afterwards. So that's actually what your kingdom area is supposed to look like. It's going to look like that. You have this area in your control. Let me just center all the text, or it's going to drive me up a goddamn wall. Center this way and center this way, and we're good. Cool. Now we're going to go back to your kingdom amount of money that you have. Don't spend it yet. Oh, I hope you have that 5 BP.
Oh, I did. Yeah.
Oh, you did, but you what?
Yeah, I was at 9 and I dropped it down to 4.
Oh, I understand. Cool. So before we do that, you did your 3 terrain improvement. Did you get 3 farms?
No, I only did 2.
Cool. After you did those 2 farms, you're now going to you might actually only want to do 1 farm. Give me 1 second. Because you're building that in which town? In your capital city?
Yes.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. You actually might not want to build either of those farms. I'll explain why in a second. Take back 4 BP for a second.
Sure.
Sorry, it's just been a long time since we played. Let's bring these farms down to 8 as they were. God damn it. I can't do it over there.
Scott's giving me back money, people. I don't know what's happening.
Okay, cool. Now, after we do the improvement edicts, okay, now it's da-da-da. So once you paid that 5 BP, which you just did, we go back over to town right here, and we change this to just say Stockyard. Right? Yeah, let me make sure we go. Okay. Boom, boom, boom. Yay. So you have your stockyard is right there. It's unfortunately framed incorrectly. It's supposed to be 0 border in the middle, and then a nice black border on the outside, and then there you go. God damn it! I said black border on the outside, and then for the middle, let's do green. There we go. So there's a stockyard. Okay, that makes sense for you. Cool. And the reason why you want to do that, Nick, is because when you actually look over here at the map, so just so you know what I'm looking at the map. This central one right here is where it was that you had put your stockyard right at your capital city, right?
Yeah.
So that hex and all the hexes around it, which, correct me if I'm wrong, is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 out of your where are the farms? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, so 6 out of your 8 farms become fertile farms. So you go for 2 farms and 6 fertile farms, bringing your consumption down to just 1. Because the fertile farms do 3 instead of 2 BP is what they consume. So even though you increased your size by a good bit, you actually brought your consumption down by finishing those off. So this is why I wanted to kind of like show you where you were before you made the full decision, before I like screwed you over. Haha, you already said you built those farms. I would normally do that, but in this scenario, because we haven't done it in like weeks, I don't want to screw you over. It's also a reminder to Jake and to Sel for when they do their kingdom rolls, they can learn off of our little flubbing here, right?
Gotcha.
So that being said, did you still want to build one more farm to get your consumption to a negative?
Yes. Yeah, we'll do that.
Okay.
That was, you said 2, correct? So
now, before you do that, 1 second. So sorry. It costs 2 BP to put a farm on the plains. It costs 4 BP to put farm on the hills. And the reason why I say that is because it'll cost you 4, but if you put it on the hill right here, that 1 farm, even though it costs the cost of 2, will give you 3 BP. 3 consumption reduction, and it finishes that like honeycomb around your mainland. You know what I'm saying? It's up to you if you want to be conservative and spend 2. Or if you say, screw it, let me just spend the 4 now and get it on the hill and be done.
Yeah, let's just put it on the hill then. I don't have anything. I intended to go there anyway.
Okay.
So I don't think there's no benefit to me throwing a mine there instead, is there?
Let's see. Building mines takes longer.
What is it? What's it gonna do for me though?
+1 economy. And earn it costs 6 to build a mine. +1 economy, and you earn +1 BP per turn when collecting taxes or in the income phase.
So +1 econ is the +1 econ worth it.
If you do a quarry instead, it's +1 stability and gives you money.
Mm-hmm. And that's 6 BP as well.
Yep. And I think stability is what you need, isn't it?
Loyalty, but
loyalty what you need. Oh yeah, I don't think any of those give you loyalty. And
hard questions. Quarry or farm? All right, let's do the farm. We'll do the farm on the hill.
Okay.
I want that negative consumption.
So that becomes another fertile farm. So that becomes 7 total fertile farms. But God damn it, I can't write anything with that. I might get that by the end of the stream. So that means you have -2 consumption. We'll get to what that means in a second. You're going to spend that 4 more BP, bringing you down from your 8s down to your 4 that you were at a moment ago.
Yeah, Joey, I think I already have a brewery in this city. You can probably double stack them, but I might throw one in the other one.
Yeah, you just throw it in the other city at some other point in time. Yep. But you're also just trying to, by reducing your consumption, you're also doing other things too, which we'll get to in a second.
Yeah, and I'm going to have to field an army soon to chase down the red mongrel, so I need to prepare for that.
Mm-hmm. Which makes sense. Because I don't think chat realizes this, but you have in your main area here, you have a granary. Is a granary the one that can store
It should be. That's
Is
what
that
they're used
is that the
for.
one? The silo? Is it the granary? I'm almost
Maybe.
positive it is. Yep. So next month, assuming your consumption is still -2, that -2 actually becomes 2 saved BP. And you get to put 2 BP into your granary, up to a maximum of 5. 5 is the max that you can
What?
have. And it allows you to have what you need. Moreover, Nick, now that you have in your kingdom, um, oh, you're almost there. You have 7, 8, 9. You have 9 farms. If you have one more farm, and you also have what, a granary and a stable, or in a what you call it, a stockyard. One more farm, and you can actually start doing trade edicts with other clans. Which, by the way, you can do that next time because edicts happen after building. So next,
Interesting.
yeah. So you'll actually have the ability to pull it off. So cool thing to
That
think
is
about.
definitely something I am interested in.
Yeah, which is nice. All right, cool. Let's move on. And building more granaries is always nice because having that stockpile, even though it's expensive to get them, being able to stockpile for the future is nice.
It is.
Otherwise, the negative whatever you have is wasted. All right, let's move on. So Nick, you completed that task there, which was not you. Build trade improvements, which was 1 up on the hill. Create and improve settlement. That was your you finished your building that you're working on. You're not creating any army units, and then you have issuing any edicts. Do you have any edicts you're going to issue at the moment, or no? And
I don't think so.
Can you just press enter for me on the treasury? Just updates.
Enter.
Yeah, there you go. Cool. Awesome. You're not changing anything with the edicts. You're good to go there. Awesome.
But good. Building another granary helps my stability too, so I might actually put that on my radar.
Somebody said remove warlike.
Loyalty, maybe, but I'm a warlike person. Well, I guess I'm not. I've been going more mogul lately. It probably does. Look, Joey, I like to hurt myself, okay? I'm just warlike. I spend money on a whim.
Sorry, I feel like hell. All right, so the warlike that we're talking about, that's there, right? So hold up on warlike. Who is your general?
My general is Karzug.
Karzug. Okay, let's. Karzug has no charisma, and unfortunately, I think she has a negative charisma. And the way that the number of armies you can maintain is actually set by certain rules in the game, right? So the ruling for it, it's in one of the books, but I have the math already put out for us to make it nice and easy. So it's supposed to be set by the leadership score of whoever your general is, the charisma score of whoever your general is, and also what like recruitment tier you're at. So currently you're at warlike, and it allows you to have a maximum of 1 army, right? Whereas if you were to go to aggressive, that still says 1 army is allowed. Give me 1 second. If you were to go to normal, boom, you have 0 armies. That's the max you can have. So you need to do 2 things. 1, you need to stay at least at aggressive. You have to. Otherwise, you cannot have as many armies as 1. You can't even have 1 army. And 2, you need to somehow increase her charisma modifier. She is, where's Karzug? I think she's under armies, right? No. There you're wrong. Karzug is awesome. She was made very, very powerfully. She was the first hype train level 5 character, I believe, and we built her a little broken. So, I was kind of hoping to show her there, but not at the moment. Give me 1 second. Should I make this look a little bit cleaner for everybody? There we go. So her charisma is an 8. You somehow need to increase her charisma to a to at least a 10. Somehow she's got to be beefed up, boy. She's works off of strength. Either that, or we need to have that attribute work off strength instead of what's her call it? By she's not bad by any stretch. She's just the game has this mechanic where it says you can work off of strength or charisma, but the number of armies you can lead is based off of charisma, not strength. So it's just something to be careful of, I guess. So you can go from warlike to aggressive if you want.
Nah, we'll leave it.
Okay. Cool. It should be both. I mean, I think they're just trying to make sure the characters aren't min-maxed, Joey. That's why they're trying to do mads instead of what you call it, sads. All right, Nick. Back to you. So I think no edicts
I
being
think
done,
I
correct?
think that should be. It wouldn't help Karza because she's a Metahina, but that should be a corrupt trait anyway. That should just be a racial trait for Scott's corrupt.
I mean, that's actually a pretty fair assessment. It also would help somebody like, say, Dentroverix and his big boy, his big strong boy that he's got over there. So I don't dispute that. I personally think that Nick's character should grab the feat where he's both the warlord and the general. I think he should have grabbed that before now because his charisma score. What's your charisma score?
I'm actually pretty middle of the road. Let me.
Aren't you a +3?
Yes.
That's not middle of the road. All right.
Well,
So
I don't have any major fantastic stat.
Oh, middle of the road across the board. My apologies. I understand.
Yeah. 16 is my highest. I'm matched. For a 3 charisma.
So with a 3 charisma, you would have 9 armies max. Is what you could have.
I think that feat is on my list, but I had to give myself some combat viability because it felt like I had none. So I needed spirited charge.
I gotcha. So just something to keep in mind. All right. Actually, yeah. Your what's your leadership score too?
Oh yeah, my leadership score is very high. We did the math. I think it might be on the old sheet.
No, it should be right there on your sheet, I believe.
Where would it be?
On your character sheet.
Did we do it there?
I usually always put it on the character sheet. Right under no additional tab. If you look at leadership score 16. So if you plug that in there, you can have 12 armies, Nick. When you're warlike, you have if you're a pacifist, you can have 0 armies. But if you're peaceful, you would have 3 armies. Like, come on.
Yeah.
All right. So 0 leadership score and a -1 here. She's maintaining your 1 army for you. All right, let's keep going. So that's it for that. Why don't we continue with the next part of your kingdom rolls for Kushibashi? It's going to be, so we did edicts. You're not changing any edicts because of where she currently stands. Now it's going to be the income phase before we finally get to the fun event phase. And believe you me, it's going to be fun. So with the income phase, first thing, are you going to make any withdrawals from the treasury? I imagine you're not. Are you going to make any deposits to the treasury? Your character's not there, and the other people don't have a lot of money to throw into it, so nothing there. Sell expensive items for BP, or you can try to make a economy check to have the magic item that exists in your kingdom sold. So, for instance, you have that 1 potion. You can have that sold, and you have nothing in your other slots. So, I personally would leave it there because there's a really good chance that Tesla will come by and buy it for you, because the likelihood of finding magic items is pretty slim overall. So, it gives a chance for him to come by and buy something he needs. You might even go so far as to be like, you can imagine somebody like Ton Screet or whatever it is being like, make sure that this item isn't sold. Do me a favor and hold on to it for a little while. I believe Clan Shadow can make use of it. That sort of a thing. Cool. All right, and I'm pretty sure Tesla has a 300 gold or whatever to buy it. He has to buy it at market value. He can't manipulate that number because of X, Y, or Z. So, but I'm sure he won't care. All right, moving on. It's cool to have access to it. That concludes all of... so now it just collects taxes. Now, Nick, before you collect taxes, make sure everything is updated for you, that your economy is at 35. Okay?
Yep.
Make sure it's noted that your taxation is currently normal. And then we want to see you roll for the taxes, baby.
It's normal. Text collection. Bashi. Snit. Snit. Ooh, am I rolling luck first? Is that what we're doing for this one?
I'm sorry, what was that, sir?
It's asking for luck first.
Yeah. Are you? If you're rolling for luck, they want to know. So you can X out if you want. If you want to roll luck, usually everybody rolls for luck first.
Yeah.
It's just kind of
Let's
like
do
what
that.
you do.
Oh, whap, whap.
Oh, you guys didn't even have luck dice. Oh, that sucks. So I guess you didn't need to do that. Go back in.
Oh, well.
And to answer the question, she is hype train level 5 means she's level 3. So even if she did level up once, Joey, and became level 4, that would only bring her charisma to a 9. She would not even be at the 10 that's needed. So, but you can get. Oh no! Oh, that counts as a negative 10. Oh, that means the actual amount of BP is incorrect.
Oh boy.
So instead of a 36 divided by 3, it's actually 26 divided by 3. Oh no. That means you only got 8 BP.
Oh, for forever poor. Oh god.
Oh, that's
Damn.
terrible.
God damn it, LD. I blame you.
Oh, that's rough.
Yikes indeed.
Oh, how much are you at now? What are you at?
That puts me at 12. Oh boy.
Luckily, you didn't start any projects for next month, and your consumption is -2. So you're safe there. Did you add your modifier, by the way?
What modifier?
Did it ask you BP bonus or anything like that when you click through it?
No. What do you mean BP bonus?
But roll for BP again, roll taxes again, but read to me the prompts it asks as you go.
Oh, all right. Yeah, it's input value, Kuchibashi, economy, Kuchibashi, luck, taxation, normal, and that's it.
Oh, it doesn't ask you one last question?
No.
Oh, okay, that's fine. I'll add it in there for next time. So, did you roll a 1 again?
That was a 2.
Oh, okay. So you actually have 3 more BP than that because of your what do you have? Your sawmills.
Oh, nice.
Yep. So you have.
So that'll put me at 15.
Correct. Yeah.
Oh, I would love a reroll, Joey.
Unfortunately, Joey, it's not that he plugged it in wrong. It's that it's set up wrong. So no reroll. No. So, and I can fix that in the future. All right, cool. So that gets us to the point where we're now at the events. With this being said, with the event phase kind of coming in, did you want to have sitting here as ethereal voices, assuming they're available? Did you want to have Cell and Jake pop into the call? It's up to Cell and Jake. If you're in chat and you want to do it, raise your hand or say I or whatever the case may be, and we'll see what we can find out. And give me 1 second.
Your ambassador is dead. No, he got exiled. Did we ever get a new one?
Oh, that's right. Your ambassador doesn't exist. Jake, would you like to come in? Would you have gotten a new ambassador by now? We haven't met them yet. Because we left the following month, it didn't feel right. Yeah, I suppose that makes sense. That means only Jake could come in. Do you want Jake to pop on the call?
That's fine. Jake, if you want to pop on, that's cool.
Jake, just do yourself a favor when you pop on the call. Do not turn on your camera. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna try to set up the ruling here. There's a way to hide. How do you hide cameras that are turned off? I know there's a way to do it. I think maybe I have to wait for him to show up for me to see it.
Yeah, come on down, buddy.
Oh, hide profile pictures? Nope, that's not that one. It's not hide profile pictures. So you can click that. There's a way to hide somebody when they're in video. I think I have to wait for him to come on and then I can do it. It's been a hot minute since I had the option to use that button.
Yeah, they had to add in that hide person on video after that guy started jerking off on stream.
You know, hide person with the video off. Jesus, that's funny. Ask all to unmute, mute participants upon entry, rename themselves, play sounds, enable waiting room, lock meeting. None of those. Under view, speaker, immersive. Ooh, sure what immersive is. Suspend participant activities, remove participant, share, start video, unmute, hide profile pictures, maybe? I'll wait till he pops on. I'll figure it out. Put tape over the camera. That's funny. Hop on, sir. Hop on. What time is it over in the Underland? Oh. The other side of the goddamn planet.
Pretty much.
I know there's a way to hide when cameras aren't on, so just become ethereal voices, just waiting for it. So anyways, are you ready for all of your events, Nick?
Oh God, no. Well, at least I got one of my ones out of the way.
Being upside down all the time. Hide non-video participants. There we go. So he's here, but he's hidden. That's what I was talking about. So we don't gotta listen to him. We don't gotta look at him, I mean.
Woot woot.
Don't mind Jake, he's kind of a boomer. Takes him a minute to get situated.
Mate, I'm here.
Are you sure? I wasn't so sure.
Buddy, I had to deal with the two kids, get them all situated so I could jump in to help you out, all right?
Not me. You're helping Nick out. You know? You're here for Nick. You're gonna be interested to hear what kind of events were made for Nick, aren't you?
Oh, I'm not. If it's more Densho clashes, man, I'm just getting out of the call.
Do you want to just sign off now?
Look,
Nah.
we're only gonna slaughter most of your farmers, not all of them, just most of them.
All right. So I have a few different things that are gonna come Porton Screet's way. I was gonna make sure I get these. There's this one here. All right, so that one's gonna be a quiet. We're gonna do that one last. This one goes last. This one goes. It's so funny, all the different ones that are popping up. So this one's gonna go first, and then these two are gonna go then.
Wait,
okay.
wait. How many events are we talking about here?
So, anyways, let's set
You
up.
gotta start capping these events, buddy. It's getting to be a bit too much.
The problem with events, the reason why is because we haven't.
I was gonna say how many trump cards are stacked up and waiting.
Thoughts and prayers. The issue is that with the events is that we haven't played in so long that they've kind of saved up over time. That's okay. Which one's Narin?
Oh, yeah. I'm trying to think like, oh, how many times have I boomered out on chat? So I'm like, oh, there must be like 2 or 3 trump cards. I figure Steve just maybe might have thrown 1 or 2 on a whim.
Steve probably. Steve, yeah, he would just for the for the chaos, for the lulls of it. All right.
My rolls are chaos enough.
So with your seeing things as they are. Oh shit.
It's all good, buddy.
We have who's actually going to be at these meetings. We have Ton Screet here, of course, currently sitting here as the ruler at the end of the table. You're going to have Karzug here, and you're going to have Shala here. Shala, you're going to want nice and close by. Karzug, nice and close by. Daelric, of course, as your counselor. You're going to want them nearby. They haven't disappeared or anything like that, right? Densho Tora is going to be here.
Mhm.
Obviously, Cell's character's gone because yeah. All right, let's kind of dive into this. The first one, the bit of information coming your way is actually going to be coming from. So, typically speaking, Tonscrete is the one that would kind of deliver this information. But instead of Tonscrete, it's actually going to be a lot of his secretaries, a lot of his people are coming and delivering a lot of the news, which generally makes Tonscrete proud. He's actually very happy to he's very happy to have people that are so capable to handle a lot of the situation, deliver a lot of the news, kind of really look after things in his absence while he's looking after like the big runnings and goings on. Tonscrete always had a significant amount of respect for Narin. Of course he did. I mean, he's followed Narin for years, right? For years. And then after following him for years, when he was offered a position of authority to be one of the rulers of this clan, he jumped on the opportunity just to continue being able to serve his clan and his people as much as he has and will continue to do in the future. But then learning the responsibilities of what it is to be an actual like warlord versus, and he's not even the true warlord, he's just kind of like stepping in, stepping out. Like he knows it's like a limited time frame. Seeing how much work goes into truly ruling, it's one of those funny things where people at the bottom of the hill always look up and go, must be nice up there. And then when they climb up the hill, they realize how exhausted they are and the air is thin. You know what I mean? Like, sure, don't get me wrong, you get a beautiful view. There might be a couple of riches and pleasures along the way, but oh boy, it's not without its own efforts and whatnot to maintain that. Lest a gust of wind or a slip of the foot make you go tumbling down. So Tonscrete has an additional respect going towards Narin after sitting in this position for a little while. That's the point I'm getting to. So his secretaries or whatnot are going to come in and they're going to be having a bit of conversation. Let me just grab a fun little scout. Can we get a scout image? A scout one? Little. Nope. The scout that I found is a flying saucer. So, that's fun. That works out from friggin' XCOM. Cool. There we go. Here's a scout. All right. So one of the scouts comes in to deliver a report. They happen to be what's the word I'm looking for here? Human. And so the scout stands there before the council and says, actually, what would we call a temporary warlord? Would he still be referred to as warlord? Or would there be like a prefix to it, like Ick warlord? What's his name? Tonscrete. You know what I mean? And they wouldn't use the word regent, right? Because regents, they would use like a different phrase. Battle lord, maybe. You know what I mean? Or seat warmer. Like they've got to come up with a title for this one. So if somebody wants to come up with a fun title name, Clan Watcher. Yeah, Watcher. Actually, I kind of like the idea of Watcher. Like Watcher's kind of a cool idea. It's like somebody who watches the Nick.
It's either that or like the Hand of the Lord. There's lots of those things.
The Hand of the Lord.
Yeah.
Can I get an amen? Where's the roof? No.
Or I don't know.
All right, we'll come up with something. For now, until we come up with something else, I'm literally just going to use the phrase Watcher, because we know what it is, and then we'll change it for something that's significantly better till later on. I wouldn't use War Master or anything like that, Joey, because the problem with these phrases that you're throwing out here, these are phrases that some clans might use as normal titles. Like War Master might be what somebody calls their general, right? So I'm going to avoid.
Is he not a regent?
So regent is what you and I would know it with Western culture, but with it being Karak, I think they would come up with a more fun name than just.
Yes, we're going to call him number 2.
But either way, so Watcher for now. So coming in and saying, Watcher Tonscrete, I come with news to the north and to the east of here, along the river. And as you can kind of see tensions settling around the table and whatnot being there, you see that you kind of like it's palpable in the room. Everybody's sick and friggin' tired of hearing about how much to the north of you, Wolfmaw, and to the northeast of you, Vok, have been causing so many goddamn issues. But then that kind of the tension's cut a little bit as they say, Watcher, it seems as though Watcher and Council, it seems as though a group of scrags have been finding themselves a bit of a home along the edge of the river, the southernmost tip of the river, right where it is that we look to have our boats traveling to the north. Not quite in our pier or even to the south, but just north of where we are. These trolls, these scrags, as they're often known as, they are causing a bit of an issue. They speak just enough Karuk, broken as it may be, to even say a few words. Give food, no go. That's what they're saying to us. You should see them. They're quite the sight. They're wearing old moldy sails ripped off of destroyed or attacked ships, tied to them with soggy ropes. They have sacks that they wear as undergarments, like giant sacks that you would imagine for, say, potatoes and the like. I mean, the bastards even took up a bit of a broken ship and stuck the part of it together, kind of took part of a mast and we'll say nailed it to it, fixed it in some way, and even painted on the letters T-O-L. I believe they're trying to say they're setting up a toll. It's been causing some difficulties trying to get around them, and they swim so fast. It's either pay the fee, as now I'm coming to you to tell you one of our ships already had to do, or try to escape them. One of our ships suffered enough damage that it was going to be out of commission for a while, and the other one, let's just say we lost a few and some of our supplies. So, that being said, I was curious as to what's the council would have done in the north. Now, before we go on, Nick, do you want to be a fly on the wall in this scenario and hear it play out, of course, with Jake's opinion? Or do you want to try to subsume some role here? Some maybe a lesser role, one of the voices we don't often hear from. So not a Patreon-made character like, say, a Ton Screet or a Shala or a Ryan, but maybe one of the other ones.
Let me think on that. Who is... Maybe we'll do a Machinko.
Machiko?
Yeah, Machiko.
Okay.
Why do I always say Machinko? I was thinking
Machinko.
Yeah, I know. That's like... Oh, God.
So that was a level 5 hype train character. They are a Quark, and they are an aristocrat by class. They actually have a 14 intelligence, 13 wisdom, 15 charisma, so you can imagine how they would play out. Female, by gender, and let's see, they have a really good ability to sense the relationships of people inside of the room. They're silver-tongued. They have a friend in literally every clan because they're just kind of like well-known in the area. They're a skilled diplomat. So that's kind of like the person that you're going to be listening in as. Machiko is a great option to choose because I don't think Machiko has any say, at least in this first matter. So with that being said, allow me to move on. The Karzug, hearing the news, turns immediately to Ton Screet and says, "Give me enough numbers and the right supplies, and we'll give you a group of dead or run-off scrags. The problem will be solved, believe you me." The High Priest, that's with you. This is the, what's his name? Eric. Eric says, either of us or both could probably find some natural remedies to make part of the river less inviting to these creatures. It's possible that one of us could do it, he says, looking over to Ryan, the Magister. I mean, whether it be a small, perhaps a growth of things that they don't find particularly savory. Nurturing a little bit of what's it called? The poison ivy or the like along the shores might make it so they don't really want to be there any longer. Extra thorny areas or something like that potentially could work. And you actually see the general shaking her head at that, being like, that's a foolish idea. If these are scrags, they'll dive in the water and they'll heal quick enough. I don't think you're going to be able to find some herbal remedy for something as bestial and disastrous as a scrag. Ryan says, oh, you never know. You could always find a strain that is particularly more effective to trollkin than it is to Karak or any others in the region. And Karzak again chimes in and says, a strain of roses? Just with casting doubt. And he says, oh no, I meant a disease. If we can't defeat them because their flesh is too strong, turn their system on itself, rot them from the inside. You can see, who is it? Daelric kind of nods to that, being somebody who enjoys poisons themselves. You have Tonscreet hears these things and says, you know, there's no need to he adjusts himself slightly, kind of, rubbing his arm a little bit as he does so, adjusts himself slightly and says, no need to kill them or drive them away. When we could get them on our side. They do seem intelligent enough. They understand what a toll is and kind of how to spell it. They even are trying to have a degree of civility with the way that they try to wear clothing. Perhaps they can understand the concept of having a job, of pay for labor, as opposed to torment. It is possible, he says, kind of, thinking for a moment, going from rubbing his arm to scratching his chin. To which Shala, hearing the words, chimes in immediately, says, intelligent to understand us, speak with us, try to extort us. Probably intelligent enough to be moved by the right story to go bother our friends up the river. I'm just saying, these scrags, they can keep doing what they're doing, but perhaps they just do it a little further north, or at least turn their sign around. It could work in our favor, she says, and she thinks to herself, starts thinking to herself. You can see a little smile on her face as she's thinking of getting a share of the profits, as she properly sees them armed and prepared for handling other ships that might pass by, certainly ships more frequently, since they'll be in a more often used area. And lastly, the treasurer, whose name is Ivan, thinks to himself, I guess I could just instead set up a fund so that our ships can keep free passage along the river. It's probably a little bit easier to pay off the trolls, at least for now, until Naren gets back. No need to necessarily cause more issues with our neighbors to the north or get a bunch of our men killed in the meanwhile. Just kind of like shrugs, thinking it over. They are trolls, he says cautiously. Jake, I don't know how you want to chime in.
Yeah, Tora would, after they're finished, she would say, the way I would think would be either to destroy the trolls. They are occupying your land and charging in Kishibashi Naren's domain. However, they speak, or at least try to. Why not try recruiting them? Densho Verix has a giant. Would Kishibashi Naren not like to come back and have these water trolls in his employ? He could put them in the river to the north.
That's exactly what I was thinking, Tonscreet said. Though I don't agree with that last part there, or what was being suggested by Shala. Turning them against our enemies would potentially be a bad thing. However, giving them other responsibilities, other tasks they can do that they might find equally enjoyable, that is a path that we could potentially take. These are trolls. I'm not particularly familiar with the difference between a scrag and a troll, but I'm sure if we find something that allows them to express themselves while still gaining enough of a reward to keep them happy, then potentially we could have allies here. Kind of like looks about the table to get other people's opinion, then looks over and says, Michiko, you've not shared your opinion on the matter.
Yes. I think you are close to the mark to how Lord Naren would handle this. Although I would advise a two-pronged approach. I would advise telling them that they're more than welcome to set up a toll, but then they would be operating a business within Kuchibashi and thus would have to pay taxes. So they can collect their toll, but they would still have to pay taxes to Lord Naren, and they could get a waiver for said taxes for guarding Kuchibashi ships.
Eric, by far the shortest one there, being the size of Josh, raises his hand up, not like it is in a class, but just enough to get attention, and says, "I'm going to be the first to excuse myself from being the one to explain taxes to trolls."
That is your job.
Treasurer,
is it?
Eric is a high priest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I didn't say that then.
Yep.
Eric, you'd have to be able to look the trolls in the eye without hurting your neck first.
He nods and says, "That's right. Best I keep my eyes to the west, not the north." And Ivan says that does actually pose a bit of a concern, with it being paying of taxes and all this. They said few words, but they're not that bright. Who would explain to them, or how would we convince them? What's the plan on this? Are we also paying this toll?
So they're not very bright, correct?
They get all kind of like nodding around the table.
So we just tax them what it's costing us in the toll.
Ivan would say, Shala would say, and they keep the treasure that they get off the others, so there's no benefit other than annoying our neighbors and taking coins out of their coffers.
Yes.
She shrugs and says, I'm fine with it. If they get out of hand, or if we decide we need a little more coin, at least we know we have a bank somewhere in the river. Oh, no, take that back. Sorry, I was trying to be punny. She says, at least if we ever need some a little extra coin for our coffers, we can always make a withdrawal from our river bank.
Funny.
Michiko's nice.
Yes. Yes, I think that would be the most prudent way to go. And that way, if we decide, or if we find that they can be leveraged as an asset, we can expand on them as an actionable unit in the future.
Yeah, I'll kind of agree. I think that's the way you want to go. So we're going to go that way first. So you're going to have, effectively, you're saying that the person taking care of the situation, it's actually either the marshal or the diplomat. So it's either Michiko or the secretaries are going to take care of this. Because obviously, what's his name himself isn't going to go. Because he's occupied, being the ruler at the moment. Technically speaking, he can go. Even though he's the rulers can go handle situations too. They can handle advisor problems. It's just removes him from the seat for a while.
I think this should be Michiko. I don't use her very often, so
Okay, so let me just check out the DC and everything for you. So go into advisor tasks. Michigo as a character from I don't think you have all your things copy and pasted onto here. You don't. Like Shala's not on here? No, so let me copy and paste that over. Oop. Puppy, where's Shala? Up.
Scott.
What?
Why isn't everything on here? Because you haven't done it yet.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. So, and then what's the other one that you're missing? Tonscreet's there. Is Tonscreet over here? Marshall, good, axe speak training, elemental, what's the other one? Hard to kill. Royal Enforcer? Oh, he's gone. That's why.
Yes, yeah, Hoko's gone.
So those are the ones that you have. That's what's supposed to be there. Cool. Black and small and bottom. Oop. All right, cool. Fixed. So the person you're going to be sending is Michiko, who has no focuses, special traits, or flaws. I feel like the hype train character should also have flaws, just none of the good stuff. But anyways, so with Michiko, where are you? He's rolling a +4. Now that you've chosen the task that you want to do, this is a challenging task, but moreover, this is a challenging economy task. Your economy happens to be a -1, unless I'm mistaken, because your economy doesn't quite equal your, whatchamacallit. Yeah, you're off by 6. So, because you increase your control DC by 2, otherwise it would have been a 0. So you're rolling a 1d20 +4 -1 equals +3. Any other modifiers? I don't think there are. Yep. Best thing you can do is use your pool of luck if you happen to get luck. Don't know if you did or not, buddy. 1d20 +3 against challenging is a DC 16. Good luck. Jake, wish him luck.
Good luck.
Thanks, buddy.
Ooh. Oh, that is possible. I know you guys can't really see the rolls because this thing's in the way. Hold up. Let me move this out of the way so you guys can actually see what the hell's going on. So he's got a 15, DC 16. Nick, if you roll luck, you automatically succeed. If you don't, you automatically fail. The question is, did somebody give you luck prior to your rolling?
My guess is no.
Because Joey just gave you luck right now, but I'm not pressing that button until after you click yours. Ah, Vid gave you luck.
Wow.
Says, let's see how they waste it. Vid, they didn't waste it.
Vid. You're a lifesaver.
Yeah. There we go.
And thank you, Joey. The effort's appreciated, and I will use it before it gets to sell.
Yeah, only Cell wastes luck.
Oh, awesome. So you actually succeeded. So let's see how this plays out. This takes about a week or so for them to figure out the details. An arrangement is struck wherein they will not they will continue to take tolls from your ships, but at the same time they will have to pay amount of taxes. More or less what it is the marshal went there and explained to them, like, you know, so does Michiko speak Giant? I don't think they do. Let me just check out Michiko really quickly. What do you speak, Michiko? No. Nope, does not speak Giant. So Michiko is there and does the best she can to try to explain to them what the fluff is going on. She actually is trained in linguistics. So she's actually not bad at linguistics, unless you're only adding 1. So she goes there and speaks to them and to get like an understanding of what it is they're doing, why it is that they're there, kind of talk to them and be like, yeah. We'll pay you tolls too. Every boat that goes through here will pay you tolls, but our army will not hunt you. Our army will not give you pain. We will not set fire to the rivers if you also give us a little bit of money to stay here. More or less, you're welcome to stay here and we won't bother you. We'll even pay your toll. but in exchange, you give us a little bit of money back. And you kind of work it out that the number ends up being even when it goes both ways. This is something that
Can I
actually...
just say that's the perfect time for a natty one to be really good because she speaks so bad that they get it. You've turned a crit fail into a crit success.
It's like Boomhauer selling to Boomhauer. You know, that's good.
I don't know if he knows who Boomhauer is.
That's all right.
Do you guys have an Australian version of King of the Hill? Is it like Lord of
No.
the Ditch? Or like, I don't know.
No.
Bro of the Brush?
To be honest with you, I just thought they called that talking to each other. But that's
Anyways, so the crap, where was I? So yeah, get it arranged in such a way that it is genuinely successful. The problem has been solved now. This was not a opportunity. This was a problem. So that being said, you get no benefit from succeeding and no penalty from failing. There are just trolls that are currently sitting there that are taxing your neighbors to the north, or anybody coming through, and not effectively not taxing you. There's no war. They just happen to be there. And that's one of those things where you're like, we're fine with this. Maybe there's an opportunity in the future for something more to come of it. But for now, there's just trolls sitting there in the water. How many trolls? That's a really good question. Why don't you go ahead and roll to see if you can discover that, Nikolai. This is going to be from his secretaries, so they're going to be from him. You can roll a 1d20 plus 5. No, you have the Hobbit of the Burrow in New Zealand there, buddy. So they're not able to discover exactly how many scrags there are, but they know that there are scrags there. I'm going to add some scrags to the map, but not until after we finish up the next one. So next up for you, Nick, actually went well. Which one? Ooh, to see which one goes next, because the next 1, 2. Okay, so hold on. I want to see how this goes. Could I get... Anno is not here. LD, you represent Anno. Can you go ahead and roll me a D100? Snaga, you represent September. Roll me a D100. And Cell, you represent August. Roll me a D100. Okay. So I think that means that one goes first. Cool. Awesome. So Nick, funny enough, it's once again your scouts that come back speaking to you to give you some more details and to go over what it was they found. So give me a second to bring that back over for you for chat. Again, while we're waiting for a new title to show up, Watcherton Screet. Watcherton Screet. I've come with news from Eldamar. It's something odd is happening out inside the woods. Do you remember the area where it was that Warlord Naren and the warlords of the Densho and Kushibashi, the Densho and Shado clans were traveling through the woods? The area where they made that mistake, and the fires engulfed a good portion of the woods there. Well, time has passed. Granted, not in extreme amounts, but nonetheless, time has passed. And usually, with how rapidly things grow in Eldamar, you would expect to see the forest already beginning to reclaim that area. But it hasn't. It hasn't at all. In fact, it's remained pretty empty, barren. But it's not in a way that would bring concern. We've been able to travel through it, and It does seem like the area is not plagued by anything to be concerned of. He just thought that because this case was so unique, maybe because of what it was that came from there or whatever it might be, we might have an opportunity for us to take advantage of that area for ourselves. I figured I would bring it to your attention, and you could guide me for what to do next, or guide us for what to do next. Once again, Karzug speaking up first. She's comfortable next to the warlord, as we all know. She says, Scar leaves a rare opportunity for us. It's a safe zone within the forest, where our forces won't be harassed by the local flora and fauna. We can set up a new forts, and even a new staging point for future expansion, and attacks within the forest. Even the surrounding sawmills under Clan Kushibashi would support attempts to set up a permanent fort to aid them more efficiently against the onslaught of the denizens of Eldamar. If you allow me to take a decent size of force to secure the area, I think we could potentially build something a bit more grand out there. Start a true foothold in the woods and the open area. Ryan, chiming in, says, I do think the deeper we go into these woods, this forest, this jungle, there is more that we uncover that we've never known before, likely that any kingdom in the past has ever been able to discover, because it's hidden so well by the denizens therein. There is going to be a reason why the forest is not reclaiming the land that it lost to the fire. We've got to figure out that reason. Maybe we can find a weakness within it, an exploitable one. This could open up new avenues to pave our way through Eldamar, through controlled burning, through control at all. The chaos, the churning chaos of Eldamar might have a secret that we can find here. No others chime in this situation. Jake or Nick, either one. Nick, in this scenario, feel free to roleplay as Ton Screet to give him a voice, because he didn't have a voice in this.
Well, Tora will say, I agree with Karzug. It's good to have a defensive place to fall back to. I heard about some of the things you guys fought in Eldamar, and it'd be good to have a safe place.
While I agree, a fort within Eldamar itself would be a boon. As we all know, the problem with claiming land in Eldamar is keeping it. While staking a greater foothold in Eldamar is Clan Kuchibachi's short-term and overall goal, long-term would be learning how to tame or dampen the lands.
Shala says, the weak point is always how you take your enemy down quick. Saves lives in the ends wars quickly. It's best for all. I agree with Ryan on this one, she says, turning to her right and giving him an affirmative nod. Daelric does kind of scratch his jaw and say, yes, well, in the north, it is customary to use poisons and the like on the battlefield. If fire is a bit of a poison to the forest, I can see us using it, controlling it, to bring them to an end. I agree with this tactic. Learns weakness, exploits it. It is better for long's run. Eric chimes in at this point, kind of like not able to kind of, hold it back any longer, and goes, "Can't possibly be thinking that this is what we're going to do. It's not just trees. It's a whole world out there. Yeah, trees may burn, grass may burn, but what of the countless insects and birds, the various creatures, hell, my own people that live inside there? I join with Kushibashi because Kushibashi goes about things a different way. And generally speaking, Tanscrete, you and I see things eye to eye. And this, I don't like the idea of this. I'm not going to deny that it's not something that Warlord Naren would be interested in. It certainly is something that he'd be interested in. But I don't like the idea of it. I personally think claiming foothold, establishing a presence, working our way in that way, and potentially looking for an ally across the table, looking to Michigo, but Michigo isn't there. It's kind of like maybe even diplomatic relations with my people. That's why I'm here, to help blend the two worlds. I don't like this. I don't like this at all. Ivan chooses not to chime in at all. I don't know if you guys want to say any other words before a decision is made.
So my thoughts here would be we need to understand the scar, not only to see if it's reproducible, but to see if it's reversible. There's more than one scar in the world here, not just an Eldamar.
Those words, you can see Eric is way more. He's calmed way down by that. His concern, of course, is that Ryan and Daelric use tactics that are understandable under certain circumstances, but not things that he is overall happy with the idea of. Granted, Ryan is more of a doctor. He just understands. I'm a doctor, damn it. He doesn't understand. He doesn't like. He's not like. Let's use diseases as a tactics as like a constant thing, but he does like to understand, and once you understand it, it can be weaponized. Daelric, however, yeah, all about that poison. That's why they're the person that your people look up to. It's just funny. All right. Anyways, so you want to go with Ryan's option?
Yes.
Okay. That being said, let me go back to where it is. Okay. So, you're going to have to make, this is actually funny enough, another economy roll, in this situation. Wait, economy? To me, this feels more like a stability. I'm going to override that. This is going to be a stability roll. So stability for you is a +0. Ryan has a +6, and the task that you're rolling against, elemental insight, is a special trait of his. Ooh, yet is
Let's look
good.
at this.
Huh?
So let's look at this.
Yeah. So, well, that I don't think the alchemy aspect would aid in this scenario. It's not dealing specifically with alchemy. But the elemental insight is on that even success or failure, something additional comes from it because it's one of your special features, right? So, yeah, you are going to have him roll. That's going to be against is it challenging or? I think it's meant to be a challenging roll. See what you can discover. And he's going to be gone for 2 weeks taking care of this. You can go ahead and roll me that 1d20 +6 against a DC 16. You can roll it anytime now. Okay, so you beat it by 3. There's a 25% chance that you can get a 23. A 23 is 7 above, meaning critical success. So there's a 25% chance with a luck die that you can get critical success.
I like your style, LD, but I do believe there's at least 2 more events coming my way and I just succeeded. So I feel like I got to turtle up right now.
You telling me you don't want to you don't want to take that I mean, it's 25%. That's a pretty good odds.
So you're like 25% chance, like it's not a 1 in 4. Get out of here.
Well, it's up to you. He's
Yeah,
like,
I'm
I've
good.
been led asunder. Led asunder. I've been bamboozled, hoodwinked. All right, cool. He's not down with the sickness. So let us push on. So with your 2 successes, to be clear, sorry, with your success, he's actually able to, after the 2 weeks of studying the ash and everything that is kind of collected from there, some of the charred wood, the ash, everything is collected and brought back. He's actually able to understand it to a degree and be like, it seems as though this fire, it's not natural fire that burned here. It's a fire that's brimming with a type of energy to it.
There you go, Joey. 1.
Not magical energy. There's something else. Some otherworldly power to it. It seems as though this is what's making it difficult for the lands to grow back. It seems as though there's an otherworldly nature to it. There might be a way to reverse this. There might be, as was suggested. There might be a way to manipulate this, to use it to our advantage. But I don't think this is simply magic fire, like somebody waving their hands and a flame bursting forward, or alchemical fire, like kinds that I can create by mixing certain reagents and allowing them to meet contact with the air. No, this is otherworldly fire. Fire that has a different power to it. That, if we can discover what that is, it can help us. But more importantly, if we discover what that otherworldly fire is, we might be able to find out how to douse its effects, to reverse them, and allow things to grow again. As it is for now, I'm not sure building a fortress inside this open area is wise. We don't understand it well enough. These ashes, they still have a heat to them. It lingers. It's warm. That fire went out months ago. Who knows? Maybe they'll spark up again. Let's keep our distance. Let's watch. Maybe the opportunity to build there will pass us. But at least we won't roast.
Wise. Very wise. And it's an opportunity to learn. And we should try to heal this land if we can. I know one of Naren's goals has always been to find anything or any way to heal the barren lands. If it's possible, it should be here, found here in Eldamar.
All right, and after that, that one right there. So the benefit of that, we have a marked out area in the because that was a we have a marked out area in the map that you have. I'm going to put on there for you for where that opening is for future study and whatnot to figure it out if you'd like. Obviously, you got that bit of information that you have right there, which is very important. Oh, I forgot. He has a special trading for. Oh, hello, Steve, with 20 friggin' gift subs. Jesus Christ. September indeed. September indeed. All right. Next up would be to finish.
I'm notating. I'm notating this on my sheet as the Elder Scar.
Well, that's fine. I forgot that he happens to be a elemental insight. He does say to you after like everybody leaves and whatnot. He'll say to Tonscreet in separated from the others. He says, "My apologies, Tonscreet. Usually I keep these details for Warlord Narin specifically. But in case
more
he
with feeling?
is killed in the north and doesn't return, that's a chance that we all know very much exists. I thought I'd let you know I am not ignorant
Once
to
more with
what
feeling?
kind of fire caused this. This fire came from not this world, but another one. It seems as though maybe the
Once more with feeling.
division between the two worlds is thin here. Like something could pass through more easily from what happens. Moreover, it seems as
Once
though
more with
he was
feeling.
able to consume Eroth so easily, so readily, that it needs to be doused. When I say doused, again, I'm not ignorant
Once
as to
more
what
with
this
feeling.
means. We need otherworldly water. We need to find a means to get water that comes from a world that isn't our own.
Once more with feeling.
I am no master of these things. I'm familiar with them. I've had experiences that I wish not talk about.
Once more
Let
with
me finish
feeling.
by saying perhaps Lenny can assist. He talks too much. He's a tad bit annoying. But all that being said,
Once more with feeling.
he's a good man. And I just realized the tip jar is not even on the overlay because I am an ass. I'm returning it now.
Once more with feeling.
And it's massive. Right there, okay. Sorry, Steve, you didn't even get to see the satisfying part of that all coming in. If I press redo, I think it'll
Once
redo
more
all those
with
names
feeling.
again too, which would be annoying. So, I think. So, sorry about that. I'll do it during a break. So,
Once
moving
more
on.
with
You,
feeling.
he says that to you. Anything else? Good? Nick?
Yes.
Cool.
Once
Yes.
more with feeling.
Cool. Awesome. So you get that. All right. I need LD, aka Ano, to roll again, and I need Joey to go
Once
ahead and
more
roll
with
again.
feeling. Once more with feeling.
Joey crushed
Once
it.
more with
So
feeling.
Joey's gonna go next. All right. Next up, you actually have who's it's gonna come and tell you this time? Give me 1 second.
Once more with feeling.
Bring you guys back over here. Okay. Now that you're back over here, it's actually going to be I think Shala is going to tell you this time. Even though it comes from the woods, it's Shala. Shala will be the one that informs everybody what's happening. She says, I have some interesting news. More news from the forest. Unfortunately, Ryan is not here to hear it. So, we're going to have to make a decision without either him or without Michiko. Though, there might be enough time to wait until they return. If you care to wait. As with all things, time is of the essence. So, allow me to explain. In Eldamar, in the forest, there have been creatures. The Fae spotted, fleeing from something unknown to us. I've sent people in looking, but unfortunately, my people in the forest are not as competent as Tonscreets, and Tonscreets tend to lack a backbone without Tonscreet there looking over them. You need to make more competent people serve you there, Tonscreet. She says as she talks about the incompetence of her people. There have even been Hafue, who left the forest and have thrown themselves at the mercy of Kushibashi. We killed a few at first along the border, not realizing that they were not attacking but fleeing. After that, we've detained them, trying to figure out what it is to do with them. By the way, we were able to investigate a few of these Hafue. She says pointedly, not looking too far to her right, as to not look at Eric. And it seems as though there is a unnatural frost and murmurs that people are being hunted down, sometimes even taken by something. We must figure out what they are doing and the best way to deal with them. This threat is imminent. As I said, we can wait for Ryan to return, or Michigo to return, but we do, of course, have concerns. What's his name? Eric chimes in first and says, perhaps taking in and speaking with the Hafue more properly, with a bit more hospitality, will produce greater results. They would know better than anyone what the threat is, and what kind of significance it may have. It may have some insights to it, at the very least, have us starting to walk down the correct path. You can see Daelric's kind of nodding along to that one. Daelric says, cupboards and frosts. We all know how cold things can be in the winters. It's not so deep in winters that they should be frostbitten yet. There's something strange happening here.
Once more with
Let
feeling.
us see to it that the strange things they is understood. Tonscreet thinks to himself and says,
Once more with feeling.
we could send in scouts. We can verify we can verify what the threat is, and take initiative. We can take initiative to see for ourselves what this threat is and verify that it is in fact a threat to us and our people. We don't know that it's going to come to our borders. Sending in more scouts to investigate it further would give us better insight as to what it is or why it's here. Ivan actually kind of says, I do wish Ryan was available. It is, sounds unnatural indeed. You boys, if you want to chime in, Karzug says nothing at the moment. You know that Karzug's probably thinking to herself about shoring up defenses and so on and so forth, but she wants to see about the proactive before the reactive. So.
Tora has nothing to add on this one.
Yeah, I think.
Ooh. What's up, SG? How you doing, girl? She might not be here yet. Sometimes it takes a second after you raid to click the button and go over as well and whatnot. But there she is. Hey, girl. How you doing? I got some new emotes for you to play with. Go ahead, Nick.
Anyway.
Hi, dong. Huh. Interesting.
Are you sure you're not high, Cell? Anyway, I think Eric should be able to handle this. I think we need to get some information on what exactly is happening. I can already, like, in Tom Scrate's brain, he's not an idiot. So he should be able to piece together that this could be a potential solution to the problem that was just laid before him. Right? So we've got some kind of otherworldly fire. We've got some kind of otherworldly frost. Why not try to lead one to the other and let the magic happen?
Huh. Oh, how's that song go? Can you feel the love tonight?
Yeah, let's just hope it's not like throwing an ice cube in a fryer later. But
it was always funny watching cooks do that to each other.
oh, like, yeah, you see the new cook on the fryer line, and somebody just goes, yeah, good fun.
So funny. All right. Anyways, yeah, this is fine. That's right. That's funny. I know it's a cat on fire. It makes me so happy. I love it when kitties are on fire. Makes me so happy. All right, continuing.
Isn't that called herpes?
Oh, moving on. What's up, Red Shoe? I feel like I haven't seen you in ages. How you been? Maybe just been catching the FODs. So back to you, Nick. Sorry. So you want to do the High Priest or the Consular? Either of them can do it.
I think we're gonna go with the high priest.
Okay. So neither of them are made by Patreon characters. So neither of them have any additional like skills or whatever it is to aid them in this. So, oh god, I gotta see this. Hold on. Oh god, I hate having a cold. Oh, feels so gross. All right, that hurt my back. I've been in a chair for days. So he is a +4. Sorry, I couldn't mute. My brain is just not all there. Sorry, everybody. He is a +4. This kind of check is going to be a stability check. Ooh, that makes sense. So he's gonna have a +4. And Nick, are you ready for this?
Yeah.
It's a hard DC. I guess you weren't ready for it, were you? So that means the DC 20. Eric
I'm looking at it.
has to try to overcome.
What the fuck? Oh, okay.
Oh, wait. Hold the phone.
Ooh.
Put it down.
Just okay. Hopefully something good.
11 minutes ago, Steve gave you Winifred's Wisdom.
Oh, Steve, you beautiful bastard. Let's do it. Let's make that a +9.
What's
Oh.
the feeling?
Ooh.
Oh, God.
Oh. Oh, jeez.
Okay.
Just scraping by. Just scraping by.
That is
Luck it.
funny.
What's more with feeling?
That is
Wow.
funny. Luck it.
Wow.
That is funny.
Oh man.
I won't lie. That was awesome. That was pretty sweet. Oh, so good. Okay. So, what you're able to find from so he's now not available for a couple weeks as he's handling that situation, removed from other events, for a little bit. Okay. Eventually, when they come back with some information. This is Eric comes back with information. Watertown Streets. I have information votes from the Fue. After properly warming them with blankets, sitting them by a fire, giving them hot food to nourish themselves, we realized it did nothing. They stayed cold. They stayed cold for a good long while. It was very unfortunate. Then I thought to myself, who knows these details? No, take this back a step. It did nothing. So before they would perish from the cold, I would ask them questions about what it is that they saw, how it came to be, and they described forms, creatures that were actually there, same as you or I, arms and legs, though more to your size than my own, swiftly moving through the woods, through the forests, but occasionally almost turning into gales of winds that were frosty, freezing cold gales of winds. They wielded not just weapons, but also seemingly the power of cold itself, just like a winter storm. Everywhere that they moved through, everything that they touched would frost up around them, at their feet. Plants that are more resilient to the winter, to the cold, they would seem to dry up and shrivel. Some of them needles falling from trees and whatnot. And we all know that there aren't many trees that can. The forest tends to hold itself against the cold far better than anywhere else. And there's areas that suffered. I got descriptions of these people. Their faces, somewhat elongated and strange. Someone even said something about they had ears like knives. They moved with an otherworldly grace. And they spoke a language that not one of them can understand. None of them can understand. Almost seemed to haunt them with how different it was. I don't know anything of these creatures, but they are a danger, to say the least. It seems as though they might be just moving past. It seems as though they might not come this way, because they don't come often. This winter they've arrived, but they don't come every winter. We could investigate it further, send people in, decide whether or not we want to engage with them, and even lend aid to the Hafue within the forests. The Hafue that are suffering, if we came to their aid, potential allies in the future, especially if we had a means to fight them off. So, few of them did perish from the cold, no matter how hard we tried. But finally, after Ryan returned, gave me a little bit of ash, told me to rub it on their face. Strangely enough, it worked. They didn't die. They were still so horribly frostbitten that they had to have a couple of digits from either hand or feet removed. Ryan happily took care of that work for us after his return. But I'm not sure if we should engage or not. The opportunity, though. The opportunity. It's up to you, Tonscreet. Should we move in, or should we stay out?
Move in and support the Hafue.
Nods and says, we'll get things mobilized and start doing it. I assume you want Karzug to handle the situation.
Yes.
Unless you'd rather oversee it yourself.
We're going into Eldamar.
That'd be going in, yeah.
Then Tonscreet will go in himself.
You want Tonscreet to go himself? Okay. Interesting choice. Cool. So you're gonna start preparing to go in yourself. We'll actually do that event last, okay? Because that'll be after these other ones kind of took place. So as you're doing the preparations for them kind of coming in, you hear more words coming your way, more options. Sorry, more problems kind of coming your way. This one is going to once again come from the what are they called?
Scouts.
The scouts that you guys have.
Wow, my scouts really are annoying. Just nothing but bad news.
Well, the scouts are also very, very, very comfortable with Tonscreet, right? Whereas maybe with Naren, they, you know. Anyways, so the scouts would come in and say, Watcher Tonscreet, I have news for you. It's problems to the southwest of here. A situation that perhaps Densho should have taken care of, but Densho always looks to where it's easy to find their targets, not so deep into the woods. So it was our scouts that discovered them, doing their work for them, if I might say. Says kind of like tossing a half a glance across the table over at the ambassador, and then remakes eye contact with Tonscreet and says, as winter began approaching, some of the more adventurous Karuk from the Barren Lands, they started to try to make their way north through Eldamar in search of more food or shelter. You know, the woods, they tend to hold on to warmth a bit water than the open plains of the broken lands of the Barren Lands themselves. I Either that or they were just trying to flank around Densho's defenses and slip into our lands to the north or whatever it is they're going. See, the problem is, as most like most of the Karak from the Barren Lands, the tribes down there, so they're quite tactless. You know better than most what it's like to travel through Eldamar. You have to watch your step. Always look around you. Be careful where you're going. Otherwise, things could quickly turn south. So they're stirring up the wildlife. They're trampling everything, and they're making a mess. And it seems like they're maybe waking something up. One of our patrols actually encountered a small tribe recently. They had a camp, and it looks like they tried to stay within the tree line, deep enough in to stay hidden from us beyond where our scouts typically go. But things have been quiet, so we pushed a little further. That's when we noticed where they were setting up their camp. You see, they cut a couple trees down, he says. And as he says, cut a couple trees down, you can see, what's his face? Tonscreet's kind of like really rubbing his shoulder on one of his arms a little bit more. And he just kind of like nods and kind of adjusts his side slightly, turning his other shoulder out as he's listening. He says they apparently fell a couple trees, used them as firewood, try to keep some warmth. And seems like that's what woke up whatever was inside there. They were shred to pieces, sir. When we found them, they were completely shred to pieces and entombed, believe it or not, in shallow graves. Our men then encountered a dryad is the best way to describe her. Unlike anything they'd ever seen before. She wasn't this typical, beautiful, lithe, lively creature that you typically find in a dryad when you're lucky enough to come across one that isn't angered. No. They said that she was beautiful still, but haunting and had an odor of rot. Her skin looked as a rotting wood despite her frame. She rose from the felled tree to encounter our scouts, and those within the graves rose with her. Most of our scouts didn't make it back, but the survivors came to tell us of this. Tonscreet immediately thinking to himself, as Nick is going to have to try to decide who he wants to speak as this time. There's no discussion on what must be done. We're going to have to gather men and deal with this before it escalates to an even further and more people perish. Whether it be Karuk from our lands or the Barren Lands, we have to protect the people from Eldamar. We have to protect Kajinksi. This could be concerning, especially considering how much other activity has been going on in the area. I thought to lead the force against the unnatural frost that's happening inside Eldamar. But perhaps my skills are best set to lead the force to meet with this creature instead. Felling trees does have its consequences, he says. And others at the table, the more keen ones, can see there's almost like a deadness in his eyes as he says that. Karzug responds saying, yes, that. Or we can let this stay for a while. This is winter, right? It's basically a natural protection from anything that comes from the south. This is not necessarily a bad thing. Let the Karuk deal with it on their own, the ones that come from the Barren Lands. Perhaps they will either kill it or it will kill them. And if they do kill it, they're weaker. And if it kills them, it is weaker. We can deal with it sometime in the spring, when it's a bit warmer and safer for us to travel through there. A creature of death and cold, perhaps it'll be weaker in the spring. Probably would benefit us to do this. It's usually around now Hafue retreat deeper into the Eldamar. Perhaps instead the Hafue will return in the spring and also aid us in this endeavor too. What's his name? The high priest there, who is still
Eric.
around. Eric, thank you. He's still around, though he's still, this is kind of like handling the other situations or whatever going on. He says, no, we can't wait for this to get any worse. We should collect anything that we have to deal with this kind of a menace. We should get all people that have any skill in handling these sorts of details, potentially even calling to Densho for those that know how to handle the dead from their experiences with the Barren Lands. And we should go in there and destroy this thing immediately. This is not something that we wait on. The cold, the winter, the supernatural frost coming our way, I'm curious about it and concerned for my people. But this is unnatural. This isn't winter. This isn't frost. This is the dead returning and rot that will expand. We cannot let the lifeless return to claim more life for itself. This cannot happen. What's his face? Who's now also returned from his task, says, yes, of course. Yes, don't forget, there's potentially another opportunity here as well. I know it sounds crazy. Please, understand. If we capture this creature, what's for us? I don't think I'm properly equipped to do the more appropriate dissection or understanding of this thing. Even if I would like to study it, of course. But it could provide information to the Arcane Congress. Think of it. If we produce to the Arcane Congress a creature of such dual nature, a creature of both life and death, a creature both natural and unnatural, this might garner favor from them. It won't be easy, I understand, but with the Arcane Congress indebted to us, this might not sound like a course you would expect me to say, but I have spent a considerable amount of time with Lenny in the recent past, and I have to say, as much as I thought him a fool before, I understand it was I the fool for not giving him the opportunity. Lenny is quite the capable mage, and I imagine there are many others in the Congress that might even want to lend us aid directly, but not indirectly through Clan Shadow. It's an opportunity to both solve the problem and maybe even benefit from it in the future, difficult as it may be. Ivan chiming in says, well, I didn't want to take this chance, that's why I didn't mention it before, but we do still have those mercs sitting around, right? I mean, sure, they got their asses handed to them up in the rivers. Maybe they have a better chance sitting around in the woods. I say we pay them a nice sum, send them in there, and see what they can do. I mean, no risk to our men. We still help out the Hafue in the woods, and we can let the seasoned warriors deal with it. Hopefully they get the job done, it's resolved, and, you know, they can keep what they find along the way, as is typical, as a little bonus for them. But that would give us peace of mind for just a small price. He shrugs and says, you might even be able to convince him to do your thing for you, to Ryan. But, you know, they are mercs. And Ryan doesn't argue. You know what I mean? No, it's all good, man. I hope things are getting better for you. I remember your last message that you delivered to us before about you and your family. I hope things are significantly better for you. And I'm looking forward to hanging out with you this upcoming Saturday, sir. All right. And then lastly, there's we're going to ignore the ignore option because the ignore option was literally the general's option. So, all right. Jake, how would you like to chime in? And Nick, or what do you want to say? And Jake, just as a reminder, the scout campaign coming in did throw shade at your clan first. I don't know if you remembered that. Nick, you might want to.
No, I didn't.
Nick, you might want to be.
What did they say?
1 second. Nick, you might want to be either Michigo again or Dazarox in this. Daelric being a female lizard folk, Michigo being female Quark. And remember, they came in and they were like, well, if Densho was doing their responsibility, okay, that whole thing. So,
This is true.
but
Go ahead, Jake. I'll probably be Daelric on this one.
Tora will stand up and she'll say, I agree with the priest. You cannot let things like this lie. The undead is a scourge in the Barren Lands. To try and capture it puts a lot at risk. To just leave it, it will gather strength. I believe the scouts said that the bodies are rising. Pray that it is the bodies and not the spirits. It should be dealt with swiftly and quickly. And if you choose to go this way, I will accompany the men myself. I have fought spirits. I've fought the undead in the Barren Lands before.
Interesting.
I don't have tissues down here, so I'm using paper towels, which are not the most fun thing on your nose. But I'm gonna blow your nose, and I'll feel like running upstairs. Oh, go ahead, sir.
So with Daelric, it's a poison, right? This is a poison in the forest, and again, it is something we could use against our enemies. And I think that's going to be Daelric's main point. I think that I personally want to try to capture it and sell it to the Arcane Congress. I don't feel like that's what Tonscreet would do. I think he would just purge this thing and burn it with fire. So I think that's going to be the route we have to go.
So, which one is he going with? He's going with. Hold on, let me just look at the options.
It's going to be Eric's, and then if it helps, Jake's character said she would accompany them to purge it.
Okay. So we can't let it get anywhere. Should click. Okay. So you want your high priest to kind of like lead them in there.
Yes.
Okay. Okay. You have actually multiple people can lead it in there. The marshal also, which is Tonscreet himself, also could go in there and see to it personally. You could have the high priest could go back in. Mind you, they're only supposed to do tasks for 3 weeks. He's already done a 2-week task. This would make it so he does 4-week tasks, which just means that you wouldn't have him available for your kingdom rules at the beginning of next month. That's all.
No, then probably Tonscreet would handle this one and send Karzug in for.
You could also hire the mercs to take care of it.
No.
Okay. So Tonscreet to do it.
Yep.
Okay. Cool. So, and he's gonna go with what's her name?
Correct.
Okay. Cool.
And that's how all of Nick's advisors died.
Oh, we'll get to that in a minute. So, this task is not an easy one, of course. Handling the creature inside of the woods is gonna be.
If all the events are hard, do any of the other events below it actually exist?
You guys have had easier events, absolutely. And to be clear, you actually rolled against 2 challenges and 1 hard so far. Yeah. So, and you're having who rolling this one? Tonscreet?
Correct.
Okay. So Tonscreet themselves is both good, axe speak trading, and unyielding. So I suppose none of these affect this right here. So he's going to go in and lead the charge. It's going to be +5 against. Hold on. What kind of check is this? Let me just check. It's a stability check again, so you're lucky because that is nobody's giving you loyalty, buddy. Oh, I think you had one. No, you've had no loyalty check so far. Loyalty would like punish you. So
Good.
this is a stability check. So that's a 0. So it's just a +5. And Nick, guess what? It's only challenging.
Oh. Do I get any bonuses for what's her name tagging along?
That's actually Jake, what are her skills?
Let me open roll 20, I guess.
+9 to beating ass. You did get another winner, just so you know.
Oh, wow.
I don't know if you want to use it on this one because you have both Ton and her going in.
I'm
Or
probably
if you
going to save it for the next one.
Okay.
What did you want to know? Her what? Like
Yeah, what are
like the
what are
three
her nines,
skills.
3s, 6? Yeah, all that stuff.
Intimidate's a 9. Knowledge local is a 9. Which would be barren lands, more or less. And perception is a 9. 6 is geography, sense motive, and survival. What are the 3s? Knowledge warlords, knowledge history, and heal.
Why don't you go ahead and roll me that knowledge local? Oh, they can't see the results, so let me read it to them. You got a 23 total. Nick, she
Yep.
beat a 20, which is instead of the usual 10, she beat a 20, so she gave you a +2 to this.
Dose. All right.
So you have a +6 against a DC. Sorry, +7 against a DC
+7.
16.
Okay.
So are you going to use your 5 or are you going to not use it? Oh, no, you're not. Okay. Oh. Well, you guys can't see the result, but against a 16, he has a 21, which means he's up by 5. If you use a luck die, you have a chance of getting a critical success.
Oh, boy. All right. Yeah, I'm going to use it.
Womp, womp.
1, 1, 1.
The good news is you are able to go in there and hunt them down and fight them and to kill the creatures that are inside there. The various undead creatures that rose up with her. By the way, the scouts that were killed, yeah, they returned as well. It's strange the way they turned. This creature, she really was beautiful. It was a beautiful thing to behold, but frightening, just the same. The way that she would kind of step into one bit of rotting wood and then out of another, seemingly behind or around you. With you being able to keep track of where she is, it made things exceedingly difficult. But you were able to hold her back by stepping into areas where there was little to no plant life for her to manipulate. An area where there happened to be a rock cropping and set fire to the area to whatever's around it, literally holding it back with whatever's in the area back. Because if she had any amount of plants that was alive near her, she get rotted out with a touch or her presence, depending on how strong or how weak it was. The various people that fell to her, it's not like it was one of those things where one of the scouts that came with you died and immediately rose back. No, it almost seemed like she entombs them in the graves and wrapped them up in a whole bunch of roots, a whole bunch of the root system, a bunch of other rotting trees that happen to be in the area, using that to kind of convert their bodies. Filled them with this unnatural essence, whatever it is that made it work. And when they rose, they didn't speak words. They didn't even make a noise. They moved like silent death, swiftly through the trees to clash with your people with whatever weapons they had in hand at the time of their death. The crazy part too is if you happen to lob off an arm from one of them, it didn't matter. It seemed like their bones, their flesh itself was almost somewhat made out of those trees, kind of starting to regrow and everything back to their hands. It was not an easy fight, but eventually you were able to fell them and burn them to keep them down. She herself was a mighty foe and one that gave quite the difficult time. Tonscreet did what he could in the fight, trying to lend aid, but he was effectively useless with his bow. I mean, he got off a couple of shots, but not much more than that. He's been hiding something for a while now, which we'll go over in a moment, but it has rendered him physically hampered, incredibly hampered, since he fell that tree. Coming on this endeavor was an important thing for him personally, because he felt a connection to the idea of cutting down trees and there being a retaliation for it. He wanted to come for this task, and so he did. The person who was actually able to eventually fell the creature was Tora herself.
One-armed Torah.
She was actually able to fell the creature herself. This actually was something that Tonscrete was able to see as emboldening, as he felt weak, pouring sweat in the cold, doing what he could to keep up. She was able to really lead the charge and bring the fight directly to the creature and eventually, destroy her. Moving on. So, you guys were successful in that. This was a stability check, and in killing that thing, you are actually going to get a +2 to stability.
Wow.
Yep. I'm going to click it onto your kingdom sheet right now for you. So under events, stability gets another +2. So it gets a 3 total for that one, as the thing is completely removed. Moreover, Nick, you learn you learn some details about the Blighter Dryads. You learn some details about how they work. That they themselves are not quite undead, but they are able to manipulate dead things around them to make them undead, to serve them. Undead things that can actually rejuvenate, that can heal as you're fighting them, which is frightening. But you're also able to learn that they have a weakness to fire. They take full damage, same as any other creature, but they slowly heal. And even if they're dropped on the ground, they'll continue to slowly heal unless you burn them enough that they can't return. It's just something that you've come to learn. As to whether or not fire can manipulate their healing factor while they're in the middle of combat or anything like that, you have no idea. But that doesn't matter. You're able to learn that these creatures are frightening, and what it is that they can do. The scariest part they're able to learn is that if she's able to literally step up and touch you with her own hands, she's able to draw from you your own life, to rot you from the inside. Cool. That is that. Next event. Tonscrete has been quietly. Oh, hello. Hello, raiders. Welcome in, Dark Humor, and all your raiders. All right, next up. Tonscrete has been suffering quietly to himself. Ever since he chopped down that tree that I described in that session, the way that his arm was kind of like blasted backwards and it's blackened and so on and so forth from what happens. Well, it's been progressing. It's been getting worse, but he's kept it to himself. When he was asked of him to watch after the clan, was around when he wanted to inform his warlord of what was going on, of what had happened. He wanted to inform his warlord of the pain that he was suffering, but then suddenly his warlord needed him, and so he wasn't about to complain and tell the warlord that he was actually the one that needed aid. So he let it go and figured he would just handle the problem later on. Unfortunately, he wouldn't have enough time for later on to take place for the warlord to return. So he continued to silently suffer, hoping that nobody would notice, hoping he can wait out. The lingering continued to spread day by day, so on and so forth. So it was a clear instruction left to Shala, and she listens to her warlord well. She needs to keep an eye on Tonscrete. So she had to watch after him. Could you go ahead and have her make me a simple loyalty check?
Sure.
In case you don't know, simple is a DC 8, but loyalty is a -4. She rolls with a +5, so she's rolling with a +1 against a DC 8.
Sure. +1.
What is up, Dark Humor? How you doing, man? All right.
All right.
She beats that by what, 5?
Yep.
Cool. So she actually is able to discover what's going on. She doesn't talk to him about it, but she keeps her lips pursed and keeps her eyes off of his arm and allows him to maintain his integrity and dignity and whatnot to his face. But she's no fool. She knows that words need to be said to others. She knows that some action needs to be taken. So she goes to Ryan. After Ryan returns from the place, he was very interested in what was happening with the people that were affected by the frost. He really wanted to lend assistance if possible, but unfortunately, something else caught his attention. He handed over some ash and said, "Rub it on their face," hoping that it would do something. I guess it worked, but he really wanted to be there to look after that treatment himself. Instead, Ryan was tasked with trying to discover exactly what happened to his arm. He knows it was linked to that tree, and he knows some bits of that tree where it was cut down and dragged through and brought to the north with Nauren. Some bits of it were left behind, and whether it be sawdust, a bit of bark, whatever it is, could have been flaked off or fallen. He would go and find it if he can, and do some experiments to see if he can lend any degree of aid. Him and Eric would actually get into an argument over this, which is why he just hands him the thing and says, "Take care of that." And Eric's response being along the lines of, he knows what he did. You can't undo the Grove's judgment. He will decline. There's no reason to fight against it. These are living people that are suffering from an attacker. And, again, Ryan being like, your people be damned. I'll see if I can help Ton scream. Again, gives him the 7, passes it on. He's going to try to aid him. To try to diagnose what this is. But first, he has to try to get his hands on some of those supplies to see if he can understand exactly what happened. To discover those supplies, he is going to use... Give me 1 second, sorry. Here we go. Ivan handles all situations pertaining to commerce, including where it was the wood came from, where it was sawed down, how it was transported out, so on and so forth. Ivan has the responsibility to see if he could find the little bits that were left behind, to see if he can use that to get a proper diagnosis. That being said, Ivan is going to have to make, because of how little was left behind and how much there was, this is again another loyalty check. But it's going to be, I think it's average. Let's try to find it. It is a loyalty check of an average roll, which is a DC 12. He has a +4, -4 equals a 0. Don't forget, you do still have your Winifred's Wisdom, unless you want to save it still.
I'm going to save it.
Okay, go ahead and roll. It's +0.
Yeah, I did keep some Viking, but I'm not there.
Ooh. Unfortunately, he was not able to discover what it was that was there, how it is that he can assist with that. Give me 1 second to look over something on Ryan's character sheet real quick. Where's it called? Is this what it is? Identify the best way to treat disease and automatically succeed in heal checks. Do so likely identifies the disease as well. He has to roll a nature check. The DC equals to the disease +5 for perfect diagnosis. So he's going to have to roll a Ryan himself is going to have to go ahead and roll a knowledge of nature to see if he can discover what the hell this disease is.
Gotcha.
It's 21. You know that the disease is DC +5. Do you want to modify that at all? It's a 23. All right. So, let me just check one more thing. So unfortunately, that is not a 5 above. He does not get an additional +2. So discovering it early means that Shala was able to provide a +2 on this upcoming roll. His perfect diagnosis was not allowed to provide an additional +2. So he's just getting a +2. This is going to be another check. This is a difficult check. This is going to be a hard loyalty check done by Ryan to attempt to heal him. Now, we have good news and we have bad news. The bad news is it's a 20 with a -4. He has a 6. -4 is 2. +2 for Shala identifying it early, allowing him to get started early, right? So he has a +4. He also happens to be an alchemist. He's going to be using alchemy in this specific scenario. So I'm actually going to allow his focus to have a +2 in this. So he goes from a he goes from a 2 because of Shala to a 4 because it's alchemy to a 6. He's rolling with a +6 against a DC 20, sir.
I'm going to add my winnies to that. So that's a +11.
I hope you fail.
It's not nice.
Roll like a 3.
It's just not nice.
Just so you know, that's currently a critical failure. That's currently a critical failure. You have to luck it out of a critical failure. Okay. I did do that. All right. So your that becomes a 17. Brian's best medicines did little to stop the withering. He was gone for too long. By the time he comes back and Ryan tries to apply the medicine onto his arm, returning so tired and so weak from his time inside the woods, from his trying to hunt this thing down, he does what he could. He does what he can. If he had only more time, or maybe a deeper understanding of what the disease was he was trying to treat. I mean, he thought maybe there was a way he could figure it out. Unfortunately, he couldn't. Nothing would stop it. Potions slow it for hours. That's it. It's clear that the fight is lost. And Ryan, if he's going to save the arm of his companion, someone he's known for years, he's going to have to take drastic measures. He amputates the arm. Ton does live, but it's going to have him removed as an advisor to any capacity for a month, because it's going to take him that long before he can even properly handle meetings and so on and so forth. He will live, and he'll continue to be an advisor that's able to continue to aid the kingdom and whatnot. But the ranger will never again fire a bow. On the bright side, Tara gives him a high five.
Welcome to the club.
A critical failure? The rot would have gone past the shoulder. And that's all I gotta say. Yep. Okay.
Oh boy, Naren's gonna be angry when he gets home.
Yep. Oh, that does still lead that other responsibility. You have people that are pretty tangled up. Who is gonna go handle that situation with the frost people?
Karzug.
So you could have Karzug is going to also like leave and come back and be like, bro, where your arm at? Okay. Karzug is gonna go handle the frost problem. Give me 1 second. One second, I gotta find it. All right. That is a stability check. It is a hard stability check. So you have no pluses or minuses. She has a +3 to her roll. So against a DC 20, she has a +3. You, of course, have no more Winifred's Wisdom. On the bright side, you kept Todd Screwed alive. This week you're gonna roll you 17. Okay. A 15 It's a failure, but not a critical failure. So, you know, things are going so well. So well. Karzug takes her soldiers. She never even chimed in. The Karzug takes her soldiers. She never even offered to go in. She didn't even weigh in on this matter. She had no interest in going to fight some frost beast or whatever it was that was fighting against the Hafue. She knew if they came across the border, she would handle them. But until then, the problem was that of the Hafue, the Fae, and all the other creatures of the of Eldamar. How you doing, Tyler? You sexy beast. So the she brings her soldiers in there and does what she can to try to aid them. Unfortunately, it is a crushing defeat. So many of her soldiers come out frozen solid in ice, left behind, or come out frostbitten, so frigid that even when they return, there wasn't much ash that was brought beforehand. It was used to save the Hafue. Even the soldiers that return, they eventually die, freezing to death underneath blankets by a fire. Nothing could save them. Even Karzug herself, who came toe-to-toe with some of the creatures that were in there, she herself had grazed upon an area where they had just gone by. She had to shed herself of all of her equipment that she had because the cold seemed to be running upwards along it. She's no fool. She's kind of a bright person. Keenly aware of her surroundings, came to the realization that anything that touches those creatures or anything that they've recently touched with their power, it spreads, which is the reason why it kind of like gets in you, turns you to ice, or eventually kills you of the cold. She came back without boots or greaves, because she, even though she was cold, it was how it was that she was able to return without the frost touching her. Lost her favorite pants. But anyways, she came with a deeper understanding of what these creatures are. She described them as being strange. You have to see what they look like. Strange creatures indeed. They're like Perrin in their old years, but lacking the creases in their face, lacking the signs of age. It looks like my grandparents before they died. They were so cold to be around. You knew they were there, not because you could hear them or see them, but because you could feel your breath being taken from you, how cold it was. Perhaps you caught a glimpse of a light reflecting off of a flake of snow as it was falling, and you knew doom was coming. And they didn't let up. It wasn't like when we turned to retreat that they would leave us to our own devices. No, they hunted us down. They almost seemed to revel in it. These creatures, whatever they are, they're tacticians. They're frightening, whatever they are. I regret having gone in there. I don't know if they're going to stay around for the rest of the winter, but I don't know if we should pursue this any further. We've lost so many people. Morale is down, and with more things coming our way, I don't know how stable we're going to hold the region. And so, -2 to stability for this failure, which loses the boon. You just go the success. Yep, that 3 becomes a 2. It becomes a 1.
It was a 1.
Becomes a 1. Okay. Tonscrete lost an arm. You have neither a plus or a minus to stability. What other big thing? Oh, you learned about ash, snow, and water. Anything else?
That whole grove, when Naren gets back, is going to get decimated.
Which grove? The one that he lost his arm?
Oh, yeah. I'm going to burn it all to the ground. I'm going to take the ash, and I'm going to salt the earth with it. That's what's going to happen.
Okay. We will, we'll see what happens when that happens. I will lie. It was a lot of fun running through all those events. There were a lot of events there, and we could have waited to resolve things. Like, for instance, what do you want to do? Do you want to hunt the frost thing after he gets back? So on and so forth. But I was fine with kind of finishing it up now because none of those were particularly long ones. They were all 2 weeks, 2 week ones. So some people were able to do like multiple things, or 2 week or 1 week ones. So people were able to do multiple things. But that was fun.
Yeah.
Jake's input was nice in this too. And I like the fact that Jake's character was able to kill the creature, and Tonscreet personally went to go fight, and Tonscreet lost an arm. The question is, which arm is she missing, and which arm is Jake missing? Like, I don't know. One of those things.
She's old and stuff too. Like she's an old orc with one arm, and I was prepared for her to die because it just made sense for her.
They succeeded.
If that's the way she went to go out, yeah.
Oh, that's funny. No, Tonscreet's just going to be what's that old Chinese anime, Condor Hero, right? The one-armed warrior. That's what he's going to be now. He's just got to retrain. He'll be fine.
I won't lie, that was a lot of fun. All right, cool. It played out well for me.
Yeah, I'm sure it did.
Hey, things are good for you. Consumption's doing well. Your kingdom. Oh, unrest. Ooh. Would you have gained unrest with Tonscreet losing an arm and I suppose Naren returning next month, he can return as ruler, and Tonscreet can use his second use of his secretaries to make it so Tonscreet continues, so it doesn't negatively impact your kingdom, him being out. He covered your missing, and he can also cover his recovery with those 2 uses there. So, another important thing to note is that your Patreon supported characters, assuming they were supported far enough to get it, if you look at like Tonscreet's character sheet, you actually have something called under additional. You have something on there called a piece of advice. So the way piece of advice works is this is a request for the best possible advice from the DM to handle a situation through the NPC's perspective in roleplay, of course. This needs to be something that the PC has an affinity or focus towards. No DM shenanigans, no trump cards or curses can affect the advice, though obviously how it's implemented is affected by the PCs and taking the advice, no impacts from the viewers, so on and so forth. So the best possible advice, and then it gives you a cutting edge, the raw best way in my minds to go about a path. You can have that for multiple of you guys NPCs, which is nice. Cool. Any questions or anything else? I mean, I feel like anything you want to go over with your kingdom, what path you want to go down next, aside from wanting to smash and grab?
Not really. I mean, there's going to be a lot that's going to happen. I had certain plans. I think I got to look at his sheet. I might wind up moving Tonscreet around now and putting him in more of an administrative function in general. No, he's got shit charisma too. I don't know. I got to think we got a lot to do. I had wanted to raise an army and go after the Red Mongrel when I got back. But that really is just going to depend on how shit everything is while I'm gone. I got to think of next steps. He's going to want to. There's going to be an effort to try to restore Tonscreet. That's going to happen.
Oh, you mean like regain an arm?
Oh yeah.
Nick thinks he's going to get an arm back. That's cute.
Even if I have to go find another Blight Dryad, capture her, sell it to the Arcane Congress for a way to fix Tonscreet's arm.
Well, AC might be able to do something like that. AC might be able to do something like that.
So who knows?
It's true.
Who knows? He doesn't, I keep my people close. So.
Well, you will definitely be able to, what's the word I'm looking for? If you wanted to establish yourself, you could always try to do the whole fire patch area thing too, which I'm curious how you want to play that out. Like, did you still eventually want to try to grab that for yourself, or?
As far as that goes, yeah. He's again more interested, I think, long term in actually healing the patch, because if you remember early on, I said one of the reasons Naren was really pursuing Eldamar was because it was an untamed forest, and he wanted to use it as a weapon against the Barren Lands.
Mm-hmm.
So, investigating ways to heal something like this that could damage Eldamar may be an avenue into what could possibly heal the Barren Lands. So.
That is true. Something like that could definitely be helpful. So I don't know. I don't know, Mike. I don't know, Mike.
So steps, directions. There's going to be a lot going on, I think, and we've got a lot of different avenues to go down. So,
Chad, what do you guys think? Any suggestions or advice for Nick before he finishes up? Because we're not obviously doing any other kingdom roles. We're still just kind of finishing up this here. So any suggestions, advice, or whatever for him?
aside from not being poor, and roll better, burn it all down. LD, yeah, that's going to happen.
It's like you're speaking my language.
Don't be nice with the AC, huh?
They have opinions of the AC. The viewers here. I think they have unfair opinions of the AC. Myself, I think that they need to give the AC a chance. You know what I'm saying?
Kill Tesla. Oh boy, Tesla. I was really thinking Tesla's got some straight Griffith vibes. Anybody know Berserk here? Tesla he seems like a Griffith. He comes out, he seems all pristine, he's charismatic, and next thing you know, he just sold your whole unit to the demons.
Jesus, that's intense. That's pretty funny. Jake, anything else you want to add, sir?
Not really. I mean, I have to talk to Nick in game about some stuff that I want to do, which involves extending certain things.
Oh yeah,
like that river, like building a canal.
Okay.
Yeah.
You see how it plays out that way or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, a canal is certainly something that can be very, very, very useful. A canal would be, how far are you down you're trying to go?
All the way.
Oh, shit. Oh, man. You're talking about, like, digging a whole friggin', like...
Yeah, like extending the river.
Does a canal actually work like that in game? Where it literally makes it so it works like a river? Like if you went like this? Because obviously you would want to stick to the plains. Have it come... Do you want it to come through like your capitals like this? Because that would give you faster transit.
I think, yeah, being linked not just by road but by river is
it treats the hex as if it had a river.
That's cool. You can get the river all the way down to the lake of the Barren Lands.
Yep, that's the plan.
Oh my god, that's crazy. That is quite the plan. And having a canal,
because imagine
so you can grow woods too, farms too.
Yeah, being able to go from my capital to hopefully like around that lake, if I ever make it that far, and build another city. You know what I mean? Having that linked and having that travel there, it would be massive.
It would be. I agree. I mean, I don't know where you eventually want your true capital to be. I can imagine it being somewhere not directly connected to the river, but having many of your things connected to the river. I almost feel like a good capital for you would be like this hill right here. You know what I mean? Being actually in the Barren Lands, even if just barely. And so you would have that river would kind of like run around it. So if you're like looking at this map down, let me make this map bigger. So you kind of like going like this. 1 second. So you have the river kind of going like, oh, look at me. I go like this. And it kind of continues down and goes like. That sort of a thing.
Yep.
Like that way if your capital is on that hill right there, it's like the river goes by you. Because you can move where your capital is. It's like the river goes by you without actually being on it. So at least your capital is like a secured spot on a hill.
Yeah.
And you know, it's like extra defense and so on and so forth. But then you have that river kind of going through a lot of your lands, and I don't know. That's really cool. How much do canals cost?
Twice
I have
the
no idea.
amount of a road.
Really?
Yep, and it depends on the terrain.
So we're talking about only plains. We literally just went straight through just plains. So Nick would have to claim 3 more hexes and then build the canal in those 3 hexes. That's what you'd have to do.
Mhm.
That's pretty good. I only got one wrinkle. Either way, that's pretty interesting. So how much is a road, Nick? Do you know?
For a plains,
The roads on plains cost 1 BP. It's only 2
1
BP
BP.
per.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
No. You can only put a plain, desert, or hill. Settlement in a hex can treat a canal as if it had a river. And then it's just twice the cost of a road. Dude, only 2 BP per. Nick, that's legit. That's super easy. Like, I don't know how much you're looking to expand at the moment if you still want to go inland versus out into the woods. But, like, next turn, if you wanted to go that route, you can legit grab 2 hexes next turn and build canals in them at the same time. I don't think you can grab 3 hexes, can you?
I cannot.
Yeah, you would have to be expansion would have to be aggressive, but you claim hexes before you change your edicts. Yeah, and that would bring your overall hexes up to 21. Holy crap! But then also your control DC would go up, and things would get more difficult for you. So you have to kind of be careful because your loyalty is so low. It makes your life more difficult. So
Yes, and I'm broke at the moment, so
what do canals provide for you? Just population. They don't affect economy or anything like that, or is it just like you have to have a bunch of them?
yeah, that's it. It's just settlements in this hex can treat the hex as if it had a river.
Gotcha. Because like roads eventually increase your stability and economy, but you have to have 4 roads to start seeing anything. And I think you only have 4 roads, right, Nick? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have 6 roads.
Mm,
But your sheet over here only says 4.
interesting.
Yeah. I mean, it's not a big deal. It doesn't really change any of your stats. But if you had 2 more roads, it would increase your stability by 1 and your economy by 2. So yeah, in theory, yeah, I don't know where else you'd build roads anyways. So it's all good. All good, mine. All right, cool.
All good.
Cool. I think we're good. I think that's everything.
Yeah, I think I'm done.
Jake, anything you think he should work on, or anything you need to mention? Chat, anything that needs to be gone over, or is he good? You're saying Jake should? Jake. They're suggesting that you claim this one right here. Oh, hold on, I'm not pinging it. They're suggesting you claim this one right here, and he claims the other 2. But truth be told, I don't think Jake has any interest in claiming that one.
I wasn't going to, but if it was necessary, I would. If
Yeah.
Nick didn't want to claim that much land, but that's up to him.
Yeah, I don't see. I definitely see Nick fully filling in, if not immediately. You know, if you wanted to go more woods way or whatever, I definitely see Nick fully filling in this whole area over here. That's what 6. Oh, sorry, 1. Yeah, so 6 hexes. I see him totally grabbing those 6 hexes.
Most likely, yes.
Oh, or actually, not even necessarily that other one because that touches your neighbor. So going more like these 5 hexes. I see.
One thing to mention too is we do at some point we have Clan Vosk as our puppet, more or less, which is supposed to provide stuff to us after they build themselves sustainable.
Mm-hmm. That they are. All right, cool. Cool. There was one thing I do need to make visible for you though. Do this and try to make this dynamic lighting, bright light, 0.5 mile, low light. Also do bright light 0, low light maybe 1 mile. That could work. Save changes. Does that work? There, you can see where the burned area is, Nick. On the map. It's the area where the charring of the fire and everything happens.
Gotcha.
So it gives you
I can't see it on my map. But all right. Yeah, I see it on that one.
Yep.
All right.
So you can get back over there, and set yourself up a spot. So, is it right there? Or is it? Wait, the fire didn't happen on the hills, right? It happens to the side of the hills. Yeah. They were hidden on the hills with the old ruins up there, and the fires are raging down below. That's right. But that does mean that the hex adjacent to it, this hex right here, would have the ruins on it. So you see if I can make an image of ruins. And then I think we're pretty much good for the evening. I don't think there's anything else for us to go over. So I'm going to go and try to get some extra sleep because I feel like absolute shit. Because I'm sick.
Yes.
The ice peeps are all over. They're not in one specific spot. I'm trying to find it. Goddamn. I tried castle, building. Come on. I can't find a goddamn image of a, I don't know, keep? Maybe? Why can't I find images of keeps or castles or buildings? It's really freaking annoying. Sorry. Ruins. This works. Ugh, I hate the fact that it has a background to it. It'll have to work though, because I can't find anything else. Wait, what's this? It's too hard to see. Looks like a chapel. What's this? If it even dropped, I didn't see it. Okay, I'm not even seeing it. It's an issue. Never mind. Screw you. There we go. That looks like rubble. Yeah, it looks like rubble. Let's put some rubble over here. That'll be where the ruins are. That you had seen before from the fires of Mount Doom. Sorry, almost done. Dynamic lighting. Gives off low light. 1 mile. Give you half a mile. There you go. Now you can see that on there too. Cool. All right. I'm good. I'm good, chat. You good? We all good? These events were intense. Oh, Sel, you're up next, baby. You're up next, baby. I hope you're excited. I hope everybody likes the way that their events played out. Obviously, Anno and Norway, you're sleeping, so you can let me know in the in our secret little chatty thing how it went out, and everything. Everybody could kind of like fill in the blank over there of what your thoughts were for rewards, penalties, etc., etc. And we're curious to see where things go with the burnt area, anyways. All right, let's all go. Cool. Bye, everybody. Thank you all so much for coming by. I gotta go to bed. I'm gonna go to sleep. I have another long day of sitting in this chair for conference calls tomorrow. Bye. Bye-bye. Oh, we gotta raid somebody. Jake, who should we raid? Hold on. Oh. Ambrose Fox is playing. Let's go raid Ambrose. Let's go say hi. Show some love. There you go. Bye, everybody. Thanks again.